Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. All right, cool. That works. Yes. Hey, what's up, Smith Sinclair? How's it going? Just getting a poll started real quick. Hang on 1 second. There's a cat out there antagonizing my dog right now. All right. What up, everyone? It's July 8th, Wednesday, 2026. It's 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it looks like Donald Trump's about to do a speech out there, like a press conference. I got it right here. So I got a window. I got a window open, so just waiting for him to pull up to the podium. But in the meantime, so it looks like Donald Trump's doing like some kind of a summit out there in Turkey. So we're gonna start from the beginning of it. So this happened yesterday. So we're gonna watch this. We're gonna catch up on all this. So this is titled "Trump Meets with President Erdogan in Turkey Ahead of NATO Summit." So this happened yesterday. This is about 30 minutes long. Once this is done, we'll check out another speech Donald Trump gave earlier this morning with Zelensky, and then we'll check out another speech he did with Mark Rutte from NATO. And then after all that, I'm pretty sure that press conference will have already started, so we'll tap into that. So have a little YouTubeville watch party, see what's cracking. Looks like that Iran war started up again, so. Everyone fill up your gas tanks because prices are going to go up again. All right, here we go.
Öncelikle NATO Liderler Zirvesi'nde değerli dostumla Ankara'da bir arada olmak bizlere ayrı bir güç katmıştır. Kendilerine hoş geldiniz diyorum.
First here, on the occasion of the NATO summit, I would like to welcome my valuable friend, Mr. President Trump, who has participated here today with us and added strength to the summit that we are convening for.
Ve bu ziyaretin ne kadar önemli olduğunu özellikle ifade etmek istiyorum.
I would like to express how important this summit is that we are here gathering for.
NATO Liderler Zirvesi'nin bugün Ankara'da yapılıyor olması ve tüm liderlerin şu anda ülkemizde bir araya gelmesi, yarın değerli dostum Sayın Trump'la birlikte olması bizlere ayrı bir güç katacaktır.
The fact that we are meeting here today for the NATO Ankara summit and that all the leaders are arriving and how with the presence of President Trump, which will be adding might and strength to our summit.
kendilerine tekrar hoş geldiniz diyorum.
Once again, I would like to say welcome, Mr. President.
Well, I want to thank you very much. As everybody knows,
Sizlere çok teşekkür etmek istiyorum. Herkesin de bildiği gibi
we're
gerçekten
great friends. The president has done an incredible job. Just landing at the airport to see such a beautiful airport and to have a building named after me. I was very happy about that. That was very nice. The airport is absolutely beautiful. The roads coming in were brand new and beautiful. And you've been a great leader and a respected leader all over the world. And we really do. We've had right from the beginning good chemistry. We've had a very special relationship. Turkey has become, under the president, a very powerful country militarily. People don't know how powerful, actually. They have a lot of our equipment. They have a lot of great soldiers, and they're really somebody to be reckoned with. And the nice part is that because of the relationship that we have, it's all gone very well. I just want to say that I have a lot of respect for the president, and I think it's really to the benefit of both countries. We're going to be talking today about trade. We're going to be talking about other things having to do with the military, lots of different things. Probably we'll mention Iran, where we have essentially decimated their military. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. And we have some very good discussions. But we do a lot of trade with Turkey. We make great things and they make great things. And we've had it's had a very big impact on both of our countries. So I just want to tell you that it's an honor to be with you. And we're going to have a lot of good meetings. We're going to have good dinners, good food. We're going to have a good time, but mostly we're going to have a lot of work. And we're going to do good things for our countries. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanım, havama kadar geldiniz. Çok teşekkür ederim. Sen çok uzun süren bir dostluğumuz var biliyorsunuz. Son derece saygı duyduğum, yakın duyduğum bir insansınız. Buradaki buluşmalarımızda görüşmelerimizin 3 konudan bahsedeceğiz. Askeri, ticari ve de İran konusundan bahsedeceğiz. Gerçekten çok güçlüsünüz. Çok güçlü askeri ve silah sanayisinde çok güçlü bir yerdesiniz şu anda. Dolayısıyla teşekkür ediyorum ve çok iyi bir geçirdiğine inanıyorum.
Thank you.
Very much.
Okay.
Mr. President, are you going to sell F-35s to Turkey, and what about the legal restrictions?
Well, it's a decision we're going to make. We have a very good
F-35'lerle ilgili olarak Türkiye nezdinde bir karar verdiniz ve bu almamız gereken bir karar.
The people sitting right here thinks, why wouldn't we do that? We have a better relationship with Turkey, and Turkey's been in many ways much more loyal than other countries that we think would be loyal. So yeah, something certainly we would consider. It's a great plane. It's the best, currently the best plane by far.
Hey, what's up, everyone? What's up, Brett? What's up, Dwank? What's up, John Power? What's up, Grimehead? What's up, Fog? What's up, Smith Sinclair? What up, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Checking out these Donald Trump press conferences he's been giving since he's been in Turkey. So we're starting out with this one since this is the first one, and we're gonna move our way up to the most recent, so we can all catch up on what's happening, or all the lies he's saying at least, and we can all have a little YouTubeville watch party and have a good time. Appreciate everyone that's here. Please hit the like button. Thank you.
It's certainly something we will consider. Yeah. Yes, Daniel, please. You never know why a relationship is special. Some people you get along with, and some people you don't. Sometimes you get along with the toughest people, like him, and sometimes you don't get along with the weakest, most pathetic people. You just don't get along. Maybe you don't respect them, but...
Well, have you looked in the mirror, Donald Trump, lately? You're the most weak and pathetic person of all time, Orange Man. From the day we met, we got along. We had a pastor, as I remember, his name was Pastor Brunson.
and it was a very big thing, and it was very traumatic. He was sentenced to a long-term prison sentence, and I felt he was innocent, and I called. Other people called, they got nowhere. I called the president, and he released him immediately. It was something that the evangelical community will never forget, and because he was a good man, Pastor Brunson. So, just things like that. We just it's always worked out. And I think it's been from the very beginning, from the first moment. This just, I said it before, it's a chemistry that works between us. There are those that I don't have a good chemistry with, I will tell you that. And we work that out too. Say it.
Are further troop drawdowns in Europe likely? And are you satisfied with the progress that NATO allies have?
Well, we're going to see. I was very disappointed with NATO. And frankly, if it weren't held in Turkey, where my friend happens to be a very strong leader, a very strong person, it's possible that I wouldn't have attended. I felt I had to attend because of the fact that, I know he's gone all out. It was a big thing to have NATO come to Turkey or any place else. It's a big thing. But we weren't treated well because we did something in Iran. We don't need anybody's help. I didn't even want their help. Or as they said they wouldn't be there. And we've invested trillions of dollars in NATO. Why? To protect European countries.
That's not.
Others, Canada, protect people.
Yeah, that glitching wasn't on my end. That was whoever recorded this meeting.
Countries from, generally speaking, it used to be the Soviet Union, now it's Russia. And I say that's fine, but you would think that they'd be very willing to do something to help us. And they really weren't. In the case of the United Kingdom, the Prime Minister, I guess he's no longer there, maybe because of this. It was a very unpopular thing he did. He said, no, we'll help after the war is over. I said, I don't need that kind of help. We didn't need any help at all. And in a way, I was testing people. I was testing to see whether or not they'd be there, because I've long said that we help them, but I'm not sure that they'd be there for us. And Italy turned us down, and Germany turned us down, and France turned us down. And it's okay. But, why are we spending hundreds of billions of dollars and they're not there for us? We've always been there for them.
Türkiye ile Suriye arasında Türkiye'de efendim
İran'daki savaşın sona erdirilmesi için oldukça çaba sarf ettiniz. Müzakere süreci devam ediyor ancak nihai bir anlaşma noktasına gelinmiş değil. Bundan sonraki süreçte Türkiye nasıl adım atacak İran ve ABD arasındaki müzakere sürecinin olumlu bir şekilde neticelenmesi için?
Bu süreçte yine aynı şekilde bizler İran-Amerika ilişkilerini nasıl bir düzleme kavuştururuz? Onun gayreti içerisindeyiz. Elimizden geleni yapmak suretiyle dünya barışına bir adım atalım diye gerek şahsım, gerek arkadaşlarım hep birlikte çalışacağız.
Ben sizlere 80 bine yakın insan hayatını kaybettiler. Çok büyük bir yıkım var. Ateşkes sağlandı ama gerçekten ihlaller devam ediyor. Ateşkes ihlallerinin önlenmesi için, sarı yardımların Gazze'ye girebilmesi için, ayrıca Gazze'nin yeniden inşa edilebilmesi için önümüzdeki süreçte ortak atabileceğiniz adımları değerlendirecek misiniz muhatabınızla? Müsaade buyururlarsa kendisinin de oradaki fikirlerini almak isteriz. Teşekkür ederim.
Özellikle Gazze konusunda tabii değerli dostumla bunları da konuşarak özellikle bu bölgedeki barışı sağlama için bu liderler zirvesini çok önemsiyoruz ve bu liderler zirvesinden aynı şekilde bir kararın çıkmasını da hayra yorumluyoruz ve bunun olabileceğine de ben ihtimal veriyorum.
efendim Türkiye-ABD ilişkilerinin geliştiği bir dönemi gözlemliyoruz. 2025 yılında geçen yıl Amerika Birleşik Devletleri'ne yaptığınız ziyarette önemli ticari anlaşmalar da imzalandı. Suriye konusunda Türkiye'nin önemli bir aktör olduğunu söylemişti Sayın ABD Başkanı. Şimdi yeni dönemde gelmeden önce de Sayın Trump bir sürprizle geliyorum ifadesini kullandı. F-35.
Oh, look who it is right there. It's Pete Kegsbreath, the most another incompetent Trump cabinet member. Oh, look, we got Narco Boobio over there. Oh shit, and it's Scott Bassett. Oh my God, got the Three Stooges right there. Kegsbreath, Scott Bassett, and Narco Boobio. Hey, look at Narco Boobio's headphones. Look, he needs Narco Boobio has. Look at his look, his ears are sticking out from his headphones. They need to give him bigger headphones for those gigantic ears he has.
Savaş uçaklarının motorlarını konuştuk. Acaba gündeme gelebilir mi şeklinde. Siz bu sürprizin ne olduğunu düşünüyorsunuz? Türkiye bugünkü görüşmelerden sonra istediğini alabilecek mi? Teşekkür ederim.
Tabii F-35 konusu biliyorsunuz bizim için yeni bir konu değil. Ve bunu bizler Amerika ile daha önce de görüştük. Ve biz
Hey, what's up, Captain Homer? Good to see you. Happy Wednesday, pal.
uçağı da sözünü aldık ve Sayın Trump'ın bu konuda bize ayrıca sözü var ve şimdi de bu liderler zirvesinde yapacağımız görüşmelerde F-35 ile ilgili kendilerinden bu daha önce aldığımız sözün ben geleceğe yönelik olumlu şekilde test ettiğimizi biliyorum ve bu konuda da Sayın Trump her zaman sözünün arkasındadır. Burada yine inşallah F-35 konusunda bu
Hey, what's up, Ed, New York?
zirvesinden hayırlı bir karar çıkacağına inanıyorum.
What does that mean?
Is it going to be headed over to the third party? Is that not part of the deal?
Third party? What is the third, with respect to what?
There's our concerns about the Russian missile defense system. Do you have those concerns about the system? Are they going
I have no concerns at all about anything. I mean, he's a leader of a country that he's made a much better country, much more powerful country. And you see it. I mean, it's beautiful. You get off, the roads are beautiful. It's an amazing thing. Now, I have no concerns about anything having to do with Turkey. The relationship, I would say the relationship with Turkey right now is better probably than it's ever been. It was good in my first 4 years, but I think now it's probably even better than that, if that's possible.
Sir, U.S. military and Turkish military constitute a really strong and large military base for NATO. Are we expecting further defense cooperation out of this bilateral meeting, out of this NATO summit here in Ankara?
Well, we're going to find out when I go there. We're going to find out. We're going to.
So what up, everyone? So Donald Trump's out there in Turkey on a summit. So we're getting all caught up right now, because right now he's about to. They're waiting on the, what's it called? Here, check it out. So I got a window open right here for this. So we're waiting for Trump to pull up to the podium for a press conference he's about to give. So in the meantime, we're going to catch up to all these other press conferences he's had while he's in Turkey. And this is the first one he did with the president of Turkey. He did this yesterday. So after this is done, there's only like 15 minutes left of this. He did a press conference this morning with Zelensky and Mark Rutte and some other president. So we'll check those out. So we can all interact, comment, have a little YouTubeville watch party, so we can all have a little town hall can all share whatever's on our mind. So appreciate everyone that's here. Please hit the like button. Thank you.
Having meetings. I'm very friendly with many of the leaders. You know, some of them are new. We don't know them, but I've been doing this for now sort of a long time. If you count the 4 years where we had a rigged election, it was very much into politics then too.
A rigged election. What a clown. Now you and Elon Musk rigged the 24 election, buddy. And Biden won the 2020 election.
But I spent the first 4 years. I spent 4 years in a little different state, and then we've had an amazing, probably the best year maybe ever had by an American president. When you look at the economy, we have the greatest economy.
No, Trump, you're the worst president since Trump. As a matter of fact, both Trump administrations regimes are the worst of all time.
We have $19 trillion, $19.2 trillion to be exact, being invested in the United States. That's 7 or 8 times more than it's ever had. It's a world record, not just a U.S. record. And I just read in fact, coming over, I was in the car with those beautiful horses, those great riders, those great soldiers, and it came over the wires that Toyota is moving out of Mexico into the United States and building one of the biggest truck and car plants ever built. Yeah, it's amazing. That's what tariffs do, if properly used. And
hey, what's up, hamster time?
we've never had a more exceptional economy or potential economy. There's never been anything like it. Under the last administration, they did much less than $1 trillion of investment coming in. And we're at 19.2 trillion in actually the first 12 months, because that's where it's, really.
Oh yeah, keep in mind, guys, viewer discretion is advised. Just know that this guy's diaper's so full of crap, it's coming out of his mouth. So just know that anytime Trump's mouth is moving is nothing but utter lies. The only reason we're watching this is to call him out on his bullshit.
Well, they were a year and a half, so that number is now substantially higher. But 19.2 trillion, Scott, for a period of 12 months, nobody's ever seen anything like that. So we have by far the greatest economy. We have more jobs right now in the United States than ever before. And we have a great relationship with some countries on trade, and Turkey happens to be one of them.
Her fırsatta dünya işler büyüktür, daha büyük bir dünya büyüktür tutuyorsunuz. Bugün konumuz Sayın Trump, ABD Başkanı. Onun da zaman zaman küresel sistemi mevcut durumuna ilişkin eleştirileri biliyoruz. NATO'nun iki en büyük askeri gücü olarak bu noktada bu eleştiriler doğrultusunda ortak bir adım, ortak bir ilişkide oturması bu süreçte söz konusu olabilir.
NATO'da iki önemli ülke olarak gerek Amerika gerekse Türkiye, bizler bu liderler zirvesinden de dayanışma içerisinde güçlü bir çıkışı sağlayacağız ve bunu da başaracağımıza inanıyorum.
Başından bu yana ara buluculuk tesis ettiğiniz iki ülkenin Dışişleri Bakanları'yla Antalya Diplomasi Forumu'nda bir araya getirdiniz. İstanbul'da çok önemli müzakereler yürüttünüz. Bu zirve kapsamında da Sayın Trump'ın Sayın Zelensky ile görüşeceğini biliyoruz. Nihai aşama olarak hangi noktadayız? Savaşın sonlanması konusundaki gidişata ilişkin değerlendirmeniz nedir? Teşekkür ederiz.
Antalya Diplomasi Forumu'nda Dışişleri Bakanlarımız bir araya geldiler. İstanbul'un müzakere sürecinde.
Is that for me? Are you asking me, or are you asking them?
Hey, what's up, Linda? Yeah, I totally agree with you. Everyone that's a Trump supporter is definitely brainwashed and suffers from Stockholm Syndrome.
The president, yes.
Biz Rusya-Ukrayna arasındaki bu gelişmeleri de yine değerli dostumla burada paylaşacağız, görüşeceğiz ve ona göre de adımlarımızı atacağız.
Televizyon kanalından Hatice Kübra Dağ, benim sorum da aslında az önce biraz yanıtladınız ama Türkiye'nin 5. nesil uçağı Kaan motorları için F-110 motorlarından söz edeceğiz. Aynı zamanda kasa yaptırımları ve bu bağlamda da F-35 alımı ile ilgili aslında bu görüşmeden bir somut
All right, so we're gonna tap back into this. Just remember, we left off at the 18 minute mark because Trump is doing a live press conference right now in Turkey. Let's go tap into that real quick.
We love you.
Oh man, it already looks bizarre AF. Let me try to find it. The audio on that one didn't sound too good. I think this one might be better.
Get to me. And in the way that
All right, here we go. This is a press conference that Donald Trump finally showed up to. This is happening in Turkey right now. All right, here we go. All right, what up, everyone? Happy Wednesday. This is a press conference that Trump's doing right now. We'll tap back into that last one, and then we'll watch the Zelensky one after this. What's up with their microphone? We got all the clowns right there. We got all four clowns. We got Scott Bessent, Narco Bubio, Pete Kegsbreath, and the Orange Man himself. God damn, with all these billions of dollars this guy's got, he can't afford a microphone? What the hell?
rival. Everything was beautiful. And so I just want to thank President Erdogan, who's done a fantastic job in Turkey. And I also want to thank NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. Mark is an extraordinary person, smart.
What the hell? What does this Pete Kegsbreath guy think he is? Like Captain America or something? All he is Captain Morgan.
Great leader. It's not easy leading so many leaders like that. You get a lot of leaders, and they're strong personalities, every one of them. And Mark does an unbelievable job. Couldn't find anybody better. I just want to say there was tremendous love in that room. The press got to see the sitting, but they didn't get to see the speaking. And I actually said, it's too bad the press couldn't see this, because every one of them spoke for a little while, and I spoke for a little while. And it's a lot of speeches. We kept it short, but it's too bad the press couldn't have seen what we were doing in that room, because it was very smart people, and they have a lot of good in their heart, not evil, good. And they're doing a great job for their country. The world is doing well. We have, as you know, the oil is down. We'll see whether or not we keep it down. We should keep.
Seems like Trump's like heavily medicated right here on something.
Yeah, we're doing things that should have been done 47 years ago with Iran. And I just want to say that throughout my first term and over the past 18 months, the United States has led a historic effort to dramatically increase the defense spending and to have equipment that no other country in the world has. When you look at Venezuela, when you look at Iran, essentially demolished their military in a couple of weeks. They had a good military, they had a good Navy, they had 159 ships, everyone's at the bottom of the sea. They had hundreds of airplanes, they're all gone. They're all lying burned up on the runways. They were totally decimated. Their radar's gone. Everything's gone. Their leaders are gone, frankly. And their combat capability is pretty low. They have a small percentage of missiles left. They have some of the launchers, missile launchers left. Call them launching pads. But most of that's been destroyed.
Just give it up, Trump. You failed. You failed in your mission, in your Operation Epstein Fury. Just give it up, buddy. Iran's got you by the balls with the Strait of Hormuz. There's nothing you can do about it. Unless you try to annihilate them and send them back to the Stone Age, but that'll start World War III most certainly. So just give it up, Grandpa, and start putting America first, you clown. Like you said, you always were.
So we have the strongest military of the world by far. Not even close. Everybody admits it. Last year's summit in the Netherlands was great also, and we achieved an unprecedented agreement to increase the annual defense spending, and it's the benchmark, raising it from 2% to 5% of GDP, which everybody said was impossible. And now they're all thanking me, and most of the countries have agreed to it. We have a couple of that didn't, but I have a feeling they're going to, and pretty quickly. In fact, today they were very positive. One of them in particular was, I didn't think a good team player. Today was a great team player. As all of the leaders understand very well, the United States remains by far the largest contributor to NATO, monetarily and maybe otherwise, and the strongest military anywhere in the world. And they respect us as a country. Again, they didn't respect us 2 years ago. They laughed at us. NATO laughed at us.
Dude, Trump, nobody respects you. Everyone's laughing at you. Trump, you're just a clown, Trump.
Everybody laughed at us. They don't laugh anymore. There's no more laughing. This year we
Yeah, I'm laughing at you right now. Ha ha ha ha, you orange turd.
invested a record $1 trillion in our armed forces, and we're going to be asking for 1.5 trillion coming up. We have the money being spent on the best equipment anywhere in the world. In the working session this morning, we discussed the progress other members are making toward the 5% target, and they're making great progress. Many of these countries are very rich, by the way. We don't have to feel sorry for them. But it doesn't mean they're properly protected. It's a big difference. Some have truly answered the call, and others are making big changes. They will be answering the call. I think I can say in all cases they're going to be answering the call, and we'll be taking in over $1 trillion a year toward defense, and that's a tremendous amount of money. It's a big up. They were at 2%. They were actually at 1%. I got them to 2%, and I wanted to get them to 5%, and we got up to 5% the last time. And they're, just again, if you could have seen the respect and the love in the room, and it's love really for the country, for our country. I don't want to say me, because you'll say, oh, he's so conceited. He's such a conceited person. But they do. I mean, they like the job I'm doing. They said, Sue, we love you. These are grown people saying that. Isn't that nice? Maybe, I don't know, maybe they're trying to get to me. And in a way they did, because there was tremendous unity in that room. And I urge all nations to accelerate their plans to get the benchmark as quickly as possible. The benchmark is going to be that 5% number. That's the number it should have been for years. As a result of the commitment we achieved last year, defense spending of other NATO members surged by more than almost $150 billion in 2025, and much of that money is being spent on American-made equipment. They all want American-made equipment. We're pushing very hard to have the defense companies. They're great. We make the best equipment. The Patriots and the Tomahawks and everything we have is considered to be the best. Not by me. It's everybody wants it. I wish we made it faster, because we could sell as much as we could make. And as you know, I had Lockheed and every one of the companies, all of the.
Yeah, Trump, they're so good. You and Hexeth blew up a school full of innocent children.
Companies which are Raytheon as an example, Boeing. So many of those great companies are now building plants. They had big plants, but they were using them 24/7. I said, that's not the way to do it. You have to build more plants. You don't have to just go overtime. No tax on overtime. Remember that, please? No tax on overtime. Those people are happy. But they go.
Hey, what up, Brock James?
They were doing literally 24 hours to get the Tomahawks done and the Patriots done and all of the.
Hey, what's up, Papa? I have a better idea. All all the MAGA cult members should self-deport back to Jonestown. That's the best thing that could ever happen to this country.
Defensive and offensive equipment done. It's the most sought after equipment in the world. You saw that with Venezuela, where they had a lot of great equipment. It wasn't ours, and it didn't work. Our equipment works, but we have to produce it faster for other countries, for everybody, including ourselves. We have to produce it faster. So we think within a year and a half max, we'll be, instead of waiting for a year or 2 years, we'll be having it on a 2-week wait, maybe a 1-week wait. That's what I want. And it'll do really well. A lot of people are, just waiting. They're waiting. They want to get this defensive equipment, maybe in particular the defensive equipment, but offensive and defensive. Much of that money is being spent on American-made equipment. That's the money that the European and Canada are spending, European countries mostly, and Canada. And they're spending that with the United States, largely. And it's American-made, made in the USA, as we say. Weapons, munitions, supporting thousands of American jobs. This will increase. We have the highest number of jobs. Right now, we have the most people working in the United States that we've ever had in the history of our country. We have the biggest investment ever made, $19.2 trillion. That's 6 times more than we've ever had.
Man, does this guy ever stop gaslighting?
Think of it, 6 times. And what did that were tariffs. Without the tariffs, I think we would have done fine, like at about 2 or 3. The last administration had much less than $1 trillion invested for 4 years. We have $19.2 trillion invested in 1 year. We haven't gone into the extra almost a half a year, 1.5 years. Those numbers won't come out for a little while. So we have 19.2 trillion, not billion, not million, trillion with a T, invested in plants and equipment that's being built all over the country. Eli Lilly is building plants, big drug, Merck, all of them, the drug companies are building. The car companies are building like crazy. In fact, as you probably saw a big announcement yesterday, Toyota is leaving Mexico and they're going to build one of the biggest car manufacturing plants in the world in Texas. That's because of the tariffs, because we don't mind if you build in Mexico, but if you build in Mexico, you have to pay 25% tariff. If you build in Japan or if you build in any place, China's a much higher tariff. It's 100% tariff because we don't want to lose our jobs. We don't want to have our workers lose their jobs. We have the largest number of plants being built for the most money ever in the history of our country. Car plants, AI plants, and all other plants, pharmaceutical plants, chips. We're not giving anything. All we're saying is, if you don't start, we'll give them 1.5 to 2 years to build their plant. If they don't have that, they have to pay 100%, 200%, even 250%. If they make a chip or if they make a car, if they make pharmaceuticals. So the pharmaceutical companies are moving in at record levels. There's never been anything like what's happening. Let me put it a different way, put it to you in a more broad fashion. There has never been anything like has happened with this country.
Let me put it to you broadly, Trump. There's never been a crappier president in the United States history than you.
In the country, in the history of the world, there has never been growth. There's never been manufacturing plants being built. We have so many being built. And the big ones, like AI, some of the AI, we let them build their own electric plants. We force them to build. We don't want, because the old grid that we have wouldn't be able to supply.
Here's a MAGA cult member right here getting ready. Yeah, this is a MAGA cult member right here getting ready to defend Trump online. Look at that patriotic goatee.
We need, just as an industry, more energy than the entire country produces right now, when you think of it, which is incredible. So take all of the energy that the United States produces and that one industry, which is so big, so powerful.
I have a better idea, Trump. How about all that energy you invest into all your corruption? You use that same energy to make the country better.
Well, it needs more than that. In fact, some people say almost double. So this was my idea. I said, you can never service that. You can't reinvigorate the grid. You can make it better, but nothing like that. You wouldn't be able to build. And we're leading China in AI, well, in just about everything. But we're leading China in AI. Even in TikTok, I was watching somebody say, oh, the TikTok deal, it's so bad for, well, because they say the deal was incredible, but they think the word that gets out is bad, except the numbers just came out and I'm number one on TikTok and all I do is talk about communism, right? So it's sort of good. I used it to get elected too, but you have to get your word out. But the numbers came out just a little while ago and I was number one, some ridiculous number. I've never heard of numbers like that, but number one. And all these entertainers, they're number 27, 29. It's crazy. I don't even understand myself, but that means that my word's getting out about how great our country is, how successful our country is, and how bad communism is, and how bad these lunatics are that are running for election that don't sound good, don't think good, and don't look good. I don't see any looker. I don't see anybody with the look. You need the look, I guess. You need something, but they don't have it. And I think they'll fade fast. And it's not.
Oh, and like you have the look, huh, Trump? I'm still trying to figure out which one's the pig's eye, buddy.
Social democrats. This is not a social. These are communists that are running. And they don't want God. They don't want successful things to happen for our country. They don't want to have a successful country. I think they're sort of crazy. As European nations rebuild their militaries, American equipment will be the largest beneficiary. The defense companies are going to be making most of that equipment. They want the American equipment because it works better. It's not a question of anything else. We make the best equipment in the world. And to that end, I provided other leaders with an update on the steps we're taking to rapidly scale up production in the United States. And they wanted to hear that because they don't really want to get it in 4 years, 5 years. They want to get it like in a week. And we'll actually be at a point like that in the not too distant future with the plants that are being built. The defense plants, it's incredible. Lockheed is building, I think, 5. Some of them are building 3, 4, or 5, and they're big ones. It's going to quadruple the output of we have with the munitions and the basic equipment itself, whether it's a Patriot or Tomahawk missile or any of the missiles that we make many missiles, different types, for different occasions. And just today at the summit, we announced $3 billion of new defense investments with U.S. companies. And Lockheed Martin will establish a world-class Patriot missile sustainment facility, a big deal in Europe. They're given a tremendous incentive by Europe to do that. All goes to the benefit of us and Europe because they're getting the best equipment. Northrop Grumman is moving forward with the sale of advanced American drone technology. We're actually the leader in drone tech. A lot of people don't know that. We have the most sophisticated drones in the world. And we're I guess we're the leader, but we'll soon be the leader by many times over. And Lockheed and Rheinmetall are announcing a partnership to build the Army Tactical Missile Systems, which is a big deal. And Anduril is announcing a deal to build their new Barracuda missiles, which is a very highly sophisticated, fast missile. And we're doing that for Poland. Poland's doing very well, by the way, with a very, very good president, great president, I think. All of these agreements directly benefit the U.S. defense industry base. And what it really does is it means jobs. And again, I have to just say that when Toyota announced yesterday, I wasn't that surprised, but everybody wanted to get that. That's the largest, I think it's going to be the largest plant in the world, car plant. And they're moving into the United States. And again, they're doing that to avoid paying the tariff, because if you build your product here, you pay no tariff. If you don't, you pay a 25% tariff, depending, 35% sometimes up.
Hey, what's up, madam? Happy Wednesday. Good to see you.
200%, depending on what the product is. As an example, we're doing great on steel because we charge tariffs. So now all of a sudden the steel industry, which was absolutely dead a few years ago, I revived it in my first term pretty good. And then they blew it in the Biden term. What a shame. They just blew it right out the window. They had no idea what they were doing. And I quickly revived it at the beginning of this term, year and a half. And the steel business is through the roof. We don't even make aluminum anymore. Now we're going to have the largest aluminum plant in the world being built in Oklahoma. I love Oklahoma. 77 out of 77 counties.
Hey, what's up, Underboss?
3 times. And it's great. It's a great state. They're going to be building the largest aluminum plant in the entire world in Oklahoma, starting very soon. Over the course of the past 2 days, I had a number of excellent discussions with other leaders at the summit and held productive bilateral meetings with essentially all of them. We had dinner last night, just about all of them were there. President Erdogan of Turkey, as well as President Zelensky, and he just came in, as you probably saw, had a little press conference, and also President al-Shara of Syria, who's doing an unbelievable job in unifying Syria. What a job he's doing. Syria was a mess with what happened with the previous government, you know that. Very dangerous place, and now it's just come together. He's done a fantastic job. People are talking about it. In every conversation, it was clear that America is back, and we're stronger and bigger and better than ever before. We have more jobs, as I said, than ever before. And we're respected again like maybe never before. We are so respected as a country. That's why I wish I told the Secretary General, Mark, I said,
only about like 10% of the people in this country actually believe any word you say, and those are all the very few remaining MAGA cult members that are still on board the sinking ship. I mean, the ship is already done. It's like The Perfect Storm, starring George Clooney.
It's too bad the press could not see what's happening in this room. You saw the big round circle with all of the leaders of all of those countries. And I don't know, I think they should allow it. The theory is that they won't be speaking quite as freely and it won't be quite as good, but who knows? It was amazing, actually. The unity in that room was incredible. Really a love. It was sort of...
Hey, what's up, Amber Leslie?
Pretty wild. There was a love in that room that was great. So this was a tremendously successful summit. And again, I want to thank President Erdogan, Turkey, and President...
Hey, what's up, Christian? What's up, Arnie? What's up, everyone? What's up, Hamster Time? Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Thanks for tuning in, and so we can have a little YouTubeville watch party with all these press conferences that Trump has done over there in Turkey for this NATO summit. So after this one's done, we'll check out the Zelensky one he did this morning. That one should be pretty good.
So many of the presidents, prime ministers, they were all here from NATO, the NATO countries. And in particular, we have to thank the Secretary General Mark Rutte for doing a fantastic job. He really put on a tremendous, his was just something, he's a unifier. He's a tremendous unifier. So I could take a few questions. We've done a few of these already today, so I don't think we should take too many. I don't think we should take so we're going to keep it a little bit short. And I know a lot of you are going home. Some are going with me. So go ahead, please. Sir, yes. Yes. No. The gentleman right here. The very tall gentleman who's very insecure. He doesn't want to ask the question. He's a handsome guy, but he's very insecure. Go ahead. Do you want to shout it out? Give him a mic. How about giving him a mic? He shouted out.
Yet, Iran war seems to be a strategic dead end for you. Why are you apparently unable to end the Iran war?
So I think we're doing just the opposite. The Iran war has been a tremendous military success, And, I can only answer the question by saying they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. I think I was there for one reason, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I call it, we denuclearized Iran, and that's happened. They will never have a nuclear weapon. That stuff is so far down under a mountain. It's a granite mountain that collapsed on top of it. Take months to get it out.
I mean, I could think of a couple of reasons why, we're watching him, or at least I'm watching him, is to call him out on his bullshit in real time. And it's fun, watching it with YouTubeville, so we could all call him out on his bullshit together. And also, second of all, it's like, we got a clown that our tax money's paying for. So we might as well watch the free show, It's like, who doesn't want to watch a free clown show? I mean, look, he brought the whole circus with him. He's got Pete Kegsbreath. He's got he's got the whole circus with him over here. So yeah, we got like a free clown show. I guess that's the only thing.
I think it's a tremendous success, Iran. And you see the oil prices are lower than they were when I started. And people like to say that, but look, they have no military left. Their Air Force is gone. As I said, their ships are gone. 159 ships are gone. They're at the bottom of the sea. Their radar is gone. Everything's gone. So when you say not a success, it's a tremendous success. The fake news likes to say how well they're doing. They're doing terribly. They have 350% inflation. When the war started, they had like 6%, 5%. They want to make a deal, but they don't know how to make a deal. And then they go around shooting ships at night. I don't like that. They're dealing with very fine people. They're dealing with Steve Witkoff. They're dealing with Jared Kushner and J.D. Vance. And they're dealing with Marco and Scott. They're dealing with great people. But I don't know. I think they're a little loco. They're a little crazy. But they told us they'd like to go to the funeral of a very a person who was killed a lot of people. Khomeini killed a lot of people over the years, and there for a long time. Don't forget, what we did should have been done 47 years ago. It could have been done any time within 40. This has gone on for. They were the bully of the Middle East, so they're a much different country now. In one day, all of their anti-aircraft things are gone. That doesn't mean they're not going to get a plane at some point. But all of it's gone. Everything's gone. Their leaders are gone. They had leaders, they're gone. And they had another set of leaders, they're gone. Now they have another set of leaders, they may be gone. Who knows? And you know what? I may be gone too. Because I'm their number one target. It's out all over the place. I'm their number one because
I accidentally pinned a MAGA cult member's comment.
They're scum. That's the way they act. And that's the way they've done it for 47 years. But I'm doing what's right for the country. I'm doing really what's right for the world. They have to be stopped. And they've killed thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. They killed 52,000 protesters over the last 3 months. So when you say we're not doing well, I think we're doing phenomenally well. Our military has been incredible. Plus we had a blockade. Did we have a blockade? Did you ever see a blockade work that way? For you that said we're not doing well there, we did great in Venezuela. That was a one-day war. And they're very good military,
Yeah, exactly, madame. Nothing new, just nothing but mumbo jumbo from this guy. All he is just nothing but mumbo jumbo.
Military country. We took out one of the worst human beings in the world, Maduro, and he's in jail waiting for trial. But what he did to this country was incredible, including the fact not only the drugs, but he had people pour into the country from prisons. They opened up their prisons. They allowed them to come in. We're getting them out. We're getting them all out. But we have, with the Biden open border policy, with Kamala as your borders are. Remember, she was the borders up, but she never called Border Patrol, never once, and she never went to the border. The border was a disaster. Now it's fixed. It's fixed where we have nobody, and I don't do these numbers. 0 people come in through our border, through our southern border. 0. And that's been announced now every month for the last 12 months, 0. We had millions of people coming, under 25 million people, I think more than that under Biden. And they weren't people that you want, for the most part. They were drug dealers. They were escaped from, think of it, all the prisons, and I'm not just talking about from South America, I'm talking about from the Congo, I'm talking about from all over the world, the prisons were empty.
Look at the looks on Pete Kegsbreath's face. It's either all his life decisions are like going through his brain right now, thinking like, oh man, what the hell did I get myself into? Or he's just thinking about alcohol. Something's up with Pete Kegsbrit. Something's wrong with that guy. I mean, obviously something's wrong with all these people. All these MAGA cult member politicians. Yeah, dude, man, Pete Kegsbrit, dude.
They were emptied out into our country, but they had to.
It's like he's like trying so hard to be cool to like kiss Donald Trump's butt.
The worst murderers. We had people allowed in our country that should never, and they walked in to an open border policy. And all I'm saying is that you're lucky we won this election. Yeah, please. Go ahead. No, yes, go ahead. Who you with? Why don't you say your name and who you're with? It's always helpful.
Thank you, Mr. President, for doing this. Iris Tao with NTD, with a sister media with the Epoch Times.
Okay.
On communism, you've been issuing a wake-up call to Americans at home about the dangers of communism. And now you're speaking on the world stage. What's your message to people both living under communist and socialist regimes, but also people living under democracies like in Europe and America who might not have realized how close communism has come to home?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. But look, I want to get the word out because what's forming is communism in the country. And communism's easy to sell. I would be the greatest communist in history. I'd be right up there with Lenin.
Oh my God, listen to this clown. He's like, communism's easy to sell. Yeah, that's why you're trying to do the Red Scare tactics from the 1950s. You doofus.
I'd be up.
Ain't nobody buying that crap.
I'd be as good as anybody. You've got free rent for the rest of your life. What they don't say is that you'll be living in squalor in 12 months. You've got the free house. Would anybody like that?
Dude, this guy literally rolled out the red carpet for Putin. What else did he do? He has a picture of Putin with his family members' photos at the White House. He literally has a picture of Putin up with his family at the White House.
Free house, we'll take it away from somebody, we'll give it to you. You'll have murders all over the place. Communism's a disaster. It's been proven to be for thousands of years under different names, but same thing. It's very important. And you know, it's funny. One of the reasons I do so well with Hispanic people, I set a record, Republicans. I get great numbers for the election, helped me get elected in a landslide. The Hispanics, because a lot of them came from countries that were essentially.
Hey, Adam. Hey, just doing from a homie to a homie, man. Dude, just put down the Kool-Aid, dude. Like, seriously, man. You really got to put down the Kool-Aid, man.
Communists. You know, whether you call them radical socialists or communists is not that much, but there's a little difference. When they say social democrats, we're social democrats, it sounds so nice. It's not nice. It's a very dangerous term. So I do talk about it, and I talk about it on TikTok, and I talk about it everywhere. I talk about it here. And you're right, it has become international, but it's never worked, and it's not going to work. What is working is the United States. So think of it, we have more jobs than we've ever had. People are making more money than they've ever made. I'm talking about workers now. I'm talking about workers. They're making higher salaries than they've ever made before. It's just the best system, and it's got flaws, but everything's going to have a little flaw, but it's been amazing. And when I watch what's happening and I see these lowlifes getting, I mean, they're lowlifes. I watch them. I know good people. I know quality people. These are essentially lowlifes. And when I see what they're talking, I think they're very dangerous in many ways. And I've said it. Then I said, boy, that's a pretty big statement. Then I realized, you know, a couple of people said, I think you're perfectly right. I think this country, with this thing that's going around, is in more danger than it was during World War I, World War II. If you talk about September 11th, if you talk about Pearl Harbor, that was big danger. I think the concept of us going communist, because one thing that happens when you go communist, you never come back, never comes back. You die in squalor. You die a horrible death.
Oh my goodness, they're so desperate because they know they're going to lose the midterms that they're resorting to like to Red Scare McCarthyism tactics. Man, what a pathetic loser.
Die in squalor. and it gets very evil and very nasty. Yeah, please go ahead.
Mr. President, Tyler Pager with the New York Times. Last month you said Iranian leaders were very rational people, nice people to deal with, strong people, smart people. Today you said they were scum, sick people, and being led by sick people. What changed, and do you think that...
I got to know them. So I've said that about a lot. Now, when you say rational, I think they're much more rational than level 1, level 2. Level 1 is gone, level 2 is gone. This is level 3. I think they are more rational, but based...
Man, I can't wait for Nuremberg Trials 2.0. That'll be happening at the brand new ballroom. The brand new Gavin Newsom ballroom that we'll be having. Wipe that smug off Pete Kegsbreth's mouth.
On their actions over the last week or two, they're not doing a service to the people. And I think more than anything else is I got to know them. And I'm not sure I want to make a deal with them. We can play games, but I'm not sure I want to make a deal. Let's just finish the job. Yeah, please, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Steve Sedgwick from CNBC. The oil markets are up today, around about 7% for WTI and Brent as well. The world is taking you at your word, sir, that the MOU is over, that the ceasefire is over. What happens next, sir? Are we on the cusp of a full-scale return to full conflict?
I'll tell you what happens next. We're never going to see Iran have a nuclear weapon because that's much more important than the numbers you're talking about. The prices of oil are dropping like a rock. Now they'll be up a little bit, and this will end very quickly. We have an oil glut right now because we got all those votes out of the Strait, and it's going to drop, and I predicted everything. I've been right about everything, and I have been for a long time. It's how I got to be president 3 times. It's how I won 3 elections. I did very well in the second one, won it. It's a rigged election, but I've been right, and oil's coming down. Now, I got to make...
Listen to this freaking clown right here. He won 3 elections. Nah, you moron. Biden won the 2020 election, you stooge.
Just to make sure of one thing, that we don't have lunatics having control over nuclear weapons. So...
You're literally the lunatic with the nuclear codes, orange turd.
We have that now. There's no way they have a nuclear weapon. We have cameras, as an example, on the site that those beautiful news at 1 o'clock in the morning 10 months ago blew up. They blew it up. We have cameras, that's called Space Force. They're in space. But we have cameras that can read the badge of the person going over to a site. Mohammed something. We say it's Mohammed something is there with shovels. Well, shovels won't get you there. The biggest machinery in the world probably won't get you there if you want to know the truth. It's way, way below. But we're watching that, and if anybody goes there, they get blown up. So nobody's going to touch that. Eventually, we'll take it. But what we do have is we have that. That's gone. If we wouldn't have had that, they would have had a nuclear weapon, and they would have wiped out Israel. If I weren't president, Israel wouldn't exist. Now, we did it 2 times. When the JCPOA, the Obama deal, when that was originally conceived, everything went to Iran. 1.7 billion in cash, hundreds of billions of dollars. They thought they could buy peace with these people. You can't do that. So the big thing we have is more important than anything we can talk about is you can't let lunatics have nuclear weapons. And we've stopped that. And that should have been stopped on a couple of other occasions too with different countries, but they didn't do that. Yeah, please.
Stephen Nelson from the New York Post. I'd like you to address speculation that you are leaving Ankara not in the new Air Force One because of security concerns involving Iran. You've spoken today twice about them possibly assassinating you and possibly being successful. Did that concern have something to do with it?
Well, I speak about it a lot because, you know, the life of a president is very dangerous. It's 5.2%. You know what a race car driver is? 0.1%. A bull rider, that looks pretty dangerous to me. It's 0.1%. No, it's 5.2% is you don't make it. You should have told me you're an excellent reporter. You should have told me that years ago. Maybe I wouldn't have run. It's a very dangerous profession. No, I'm number 1 on the kill list for Iran. They're lovely people. I'm number one. So I don't know. I can't tell you that, but I don't really care because I'm doing my job and I'm doing it, I hope, better than anybody's ever done it because we have a country that's hot and really, really successful. But I mentioned it only because it's on the list. I mean, it came out. There was another list came out yesterday, and I'm number one on. I like being number one on TikTok better, but I'm number one on the list for killing. Go ahead.
Hey, Sean McCreesh, New York Times. But why aren't you flying the new plane home?
Say what?
Why aren't you flying on the new Air Force One home?
It's flying to Europe, to one of the big bases, 2 or 3 of the big bases where we can show it to the people. And we'll be going home by normal methods. But we have it going to Europe to a couple of bases, actually one in particular, but it's going to go to a couple of bases stop so the soldiers can see it because it's truly magnificent. Yeah, please. Go ahead. You want to go? Okay, go ahead. Mr. President.
What the hell? So did he just say he's gonna go show off his new Qatari jet to the soldiers?
Media, Tunçer Koç, Türkiye. Mr. President, it seems that the war with Iran may start again. What do you expect from your European allies?
No, I don't think it's going to start again. I think it's going to go very quickly. They hit a couple of ships, and so we hit them much harder. When they hit, we hit 10 times harder. You know, we hit much harder than they do. We have a lot better equipment than they do. We may even, somebody asked before, do you think you'll hit them tonight? I said, we might, yeah, we might. But when they hit, we hit. You know, it's what we use their language. We speak their language. No, I don't think so. I think anything that happens is going to be over very quickly, and we'll only make it safer, including for oil. Oil is going to be very free, very easy, and it's going to happen very fast. We have the Hormuz Strait. The boats have pulled out. I mean, there's a gusher of oil right now. We have a lot of oil. And no, anything that happens is going to happen very fast.
Nah, the only gusher that's happening is the gusher that's happening in your diaper, pal.
We're not looking.
I'm pretty sure he probably pooped his pants during this press conference.
Long term. Okay. Go ahead, Red.
You said today that countries.
You're with who?
MS Now.
MS Now, that's a failing network. Why would you want to work for them? MS Now, can you imagine? They wanted to get away. They took the name NBC because they were embarrassed by it. Go ahead, let's go. When do you hear this question?
You said today that countries like Spain, Italy, and the UK were not there for the US and its war with Iran. Should those countries be attacked, will the US be there for them?
Well, I'll tell you what. Number one, Spain has been very bad, but you know Italy's been good, and almost all of the countries have been good. They just had a bad moment. They didn't help us. We didn't need the help, but if we would have wanted the help, I said, by the way, if I want help, sure would rather remain.
Hey, what's up, Dan Fries? Just hanging out, catching up on these horrendous Donald Trump speeches at the Turkey summit, but I like watching them because, it's a free clown show, and we got to call him out on all his BS, and we can all have like a little YouTubeville watch party and build a community of everyone, all the people that never have and never will drink the Kool-Aid. So special shout out to everyone out there that never has and never will drink the Kool-Aid. For all you MAGA cult members out there, you guys are finally seeing the truth. The ones that are still hanging on, just abandon ship. MAGA movement's done, guys. It's over. Blue wave tsunami.
Sidelines, and I didn't like that answer. UK gave an answer that was sort of weirder than that. They went out. I said, would you like to help? They said, we do, but we want to wait till the war is over. This was not in the spirit of Winston Churchill. So, I'll tell you what, I can only say if there's one word that comes out of today, it's unification. I've never seen anything like it. Every one of those countries, they love us, they love each other. That was tremendous unification. It was a nice thing to say. It was a very fair question, too. Yeah. Green? Yeah, you're wearing green, right?
Thank you, Mr. President. Eda Turul from Haber Global TV, Turkey. Mr. President, after your meeting with President Erdogan, can you tell us whether you and President Erdogan reach an understanding on Turkey's return to the F-35 program and the future of U.S.-Turkey defense cooperation? And do you believe U.S.-Turkey relations are entering a new chapter right now?
Well, I had a great relationship in my first term. You remember Pastor Brunson, and he was put in jail for 35 years, and he was an evangelical hero, actually, very good man. And I called President Erdogan and he let him out. I didn't pay anything like Obama and Biden paid billions of dollars all the time. I never paid any for anybody. I just let him out. Good.
Yeah, he's got extra orange. Look, he looks like a clown. What's up with his face? Oh my, how can he walk around like that? Get all that makeup. Looks like a rotisserie chicken that's been roasting at Walmart. You know, like those rotisserie chickens at Walmart that sit under the heat lamp? Looks like one of those that's been sitting under the heat lamp for like 7 hours.
I'm out. But in this case, I didn't say it the second way I said it the first way. I said, look, he's a good man. He's highly respected in the evangelical, and I'd like you to let him out. And he was in my office, in the Oval Office the following day, Pastor Brunson. I had a great relationship. When Sleepy Joe Biden got in, bad things happened with a lot of things between the border. Everything was bad. We were laughed at all over the world, and we had a very bad relation.
I mean, you know, we all get old, but, you know, as long as you have a good heart, it doesn't matter. This guy has no heart. He has just a dark soul. Like, if he were to, like, actually, like, you know, do the opposite of what he's doing, like no corruption, actually, you know, do stuff for the American people, lower prices, you know, not be a racist bigot, like, you know, he wouldn't look so bad.
With a lot of countries, I think Turkey was one of those countries. But that changed on November 5th when we had the election. And it's one of our best relationships. We have a great relationship. And they're talking about the F-35 airplane, and it's the best plane, and everybody wants it. And we have to make a decision who we give it to. I mean, my inclination, because he's not a huge fan of Bibi, and he's not a huge fan of Israel, but he stayed out of that war. He could have gone into that war very easily, and he didn't. At my request, he stayed out of that war. And he's been a very good ally. I mean,
like getting old isn't a choice, but having a good heart is.
Marco could tell you we have a very strong relationship with Turkey. You know, it's a very big country. It's very powerful militarily. It's the second most powerful country in NATO. It's a NATO country. So whether or not we do that, I haven't told.
Hey, what's up, Lisha? You suffer from Trump devotion syndrome? Well, you're at the right place. This is where we reform all the maggots. I just looked at the analytics, and in the last month alone, we've reformed 10,000 maggots. So for all you reformed maggots out there, you know, give yourselves a round of applause. You know, congratulations for getting rid of that Stockholm syndrome and putting the Kool-Aid down.
Made up my mind, but my inclination is to say, look, he's done everything. He's helped us in so many different ways. And you know who else has been good to us? China. China never came into the war. They get 50% of their oil from Hormuz Strait. They never came into the war. They never said, I'm going to send a ship in 5 destroyers along each side of the ship. They never did. No, President Xi's been great. Everyone's been sort of great, to be honest. You know why? Because they respect our country again. They laughed at our country. They thought we were a bunch of fools. They saw a president that couldn't talk, he couldn't walk. It was a disaster. They lost respect for our country, but now they have more respect for our country than they've ever had before. Thank you all very much. We'll see you back.
Oh, man. Thank goodness that's over. That's some good news, but I got some bad news, guys. Unfortunately, we got to listen to some more Trump. At least like another hour of this dude. We gotta watch all his press conferences from this NATO summit. So let's dive in over here. All right, here's the one with Zelensky right here. This one came out this morning. All right, here we go. This should be pretty good. I like Zelensky's cool. I like Zelensky's awesome. All right, this came out this morning, guys. Hey, what up, everyone? Hope you're all doing well out there. Thanks for everyone that's hanging out, sharing your opinions, you know, and having a little YouTubeville watch party. You know, it's all friendly banter. It's all shits and giggles until someone giggles and shits. All right, here we go. Oh, hey.
Well, thank you very much. It's a great honor to be with President Zelensky. We've talked a little while, and we speak on occasion by phone. We had a great talk the other day, I think, very positive. And I think we have some very good stories to tell. What's going on? He wants to see a settlement, and I think President Putin wants to see a settlement. And usually that means a settlement, but for us, this is a tough one. But I just, we just had our NATO meeting, and it was a great meeting. You probably heard it was a great meeting. There was a lot of love in that room, a lot of unity. And I don't think it could have been, Marco, what do you think? It couldn't have gone much better. You have a feeling as to what you just saw?
Very positive.
Really good. Scott, what do you think?
I consider all the Europeans, they attributed you to saving NATO, and they want to do what they're supposed to do and do the right thing.
There was something very special. And I will say that what they've done with Turkey and President Erdogan has been a friend of mine. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. Strong man, good man, and he's done a fantastic job. Every road is everything's perfect. He's, from the airport to the destination, everything's been perfect. So we had a really good meeting. And I thought this would be a good time for President Zelensky and I to meet. And we'll see what we can do. But we've actually developed a good relationship. It's hard to believe, right? From the Oval Office to now, I think we've developed a very good relationship. And this is not the end. No, this is going to be the beginning, maybe. Just the beginning. And you know, the country has a lot of future. It has such great land, such great assets, such great people. And you have a lot of people. I was with a group in Poland, and you have a lot of people in Poland, which is a terrific country with a really great president. I happen to endorse him, and he's doing a very good job. And they were saying they love Poland, but they really want to go back. You know, you can get a lot of people back when this is over. They left some, and they're all. I think they're going to come back. A big percentage are going to come back. So we're going to have a good talk, and we're going to see how it all goes. And Mr. President, would you like to say something?
Thanks so much, Mr. President.
You know those like air fresheners, like the pine tree ones that you put in your car? Man, they probably got to like line Donald Trump's like waist with those.
For this meeting, and we're very thankful as always to your support, American support, bipartisan support. Thanks for the invitation to this summit, and I think that I agree with you, we have a lot to discuss, to speak about, and of course we are thankful for the Pearl program, and we want to share with you some details what we want to raise during our meeting. Air defense is the priority. The second one, maybe the first, about negotiations. I think, yes, we understand what to do. It's our estimation what to do, how to bring peace, and I hope that you will do. I'm sure that you will do everything to stop this war.
Yeah, I think Mitch McConnell was one of the ones that voted against, is going to vote against the SAVE Act.
And I'm very happy that our side began to work on drone deal, and it's a very good beginning. And I hope that today I will have also to discuss with you some very important details. Thank you so much.
We've settled a lot of wars And this one is the one that I thought maybe would be the easiest. But Putin's a difficult character. This guy's a difficult character. It's not the easiest thing, and there's a lot of commitment, and there's a lot of love of the countries and everything else. But I think we've made a lot of progress in the last couple of weeks, and we'll see how it all goes. So, do you have any questions?
With the Iran ceasefire possibly over, can we expect the resumption?
Well, I just think they are behaving very badly, as they have for 47 years. And we hit them hard last night after they launched. They launched a couple of, you don't have to know about this, you got stuff on your mind, but they launched a couple of drones and one rocket, one missile, and at chips, because they were in the strait, which they have every right to be. And so we hit them very hard last night. Very, probably hit them hard again tonight. I'll give a little warning, we're going to hit them hard tonight. But we'll see how it all works out. No, I'm not happy with them. It's like, for instance, we'll have a meeting, we'll talk about the denuclearization of Iran, because that's what the war is. It's not a war, it's really the denuclearization of Iran. And we'll have a meeting and we'll talk about just that. That's because my whole thing is not about regime change. It's not about that, although I think it's regime change when you knock out the first group, the second group, and now you're into I think that's maybe the ultimate regime change. But that's not what it's about. It's about, we don't want them to have nuclear weapons. And it's denuking or denuclearization. And I think we've made a lot of progress. And they'll get out of the room. We'll talk about it like we hear.
Zelensky knows this orange man is just full of just diaper crap.
Hear everything, and then they'll go have a news conference and say we never even talked about it. They're cuckoo. There's something wrong with these people. And for 47 years, they've been the bully of the Middle East, and they're not the bully anymore. They're not the bully anymore. And all we want, it's very simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon. That's what I'm there for.
President Trump, sir. President Trump.
If they did, they'd use it, and we're not going to let that
President Trump, sir.
Daniel?
You've made a career making deals in very challenging situations. Speaking to President Zelensky, speaking to President Putin, in your view, sir, what is the most pragmatic pathway forward to finding a long-term peace deal?
I just think they're going to make a deal. Look, this deal has been in the works for a long time. It's got the pluses, the minuses. They know what it is. He knows what it is better than anybody. And I just think it's sometimes, I used an analogy, and it sounds simple, but it's sort of true. You have two kids in a park, and they don't like each other, and they start fighting. Sometimes you have to let them fight. Let them see that it's tough, it's tough. Fighting is tough. And he's done an amazing job. Look, he's been very effective. Now he's had the best equipment because he's had our equipment.
What are you talking about, Maria? This guy's so low IQ right here. He makes a hamster look smart, man. A hamster's smarter than this guy.
And he's had great, but somebody has to use that equipment. And you have a lot of brave people that are using that equipment. And Russia, it's a big country, but it's a big force. Russia's always been a big fighting force, so but I really believe it's ready. It's very interesting because you'd almost say it's worse than ever, and maybe it isn't. Sometimes with war, and you study war, I've studied it so long, for years long before I did this. Sometimes it's when it gets the worst, and I don't know that it's the worst right now. It's consistently bad. They lost 25,000 people were lost, kids, young people lost last month, and we had a month, 35, 2 months ago. And I would say more Russians, but it's just they're people. And there's actually very little difference between the people. I mean, it's like the Russians and Ukrainian people, and they can get along, but it's a nasty war. Thousands and thousands, mostly soldiers, are being killed. The battlefields, I see pictures and it's horrible. He thinks it's horrible. We all think it's horrible. And the president wants to get it done, and I believe that President Putin wants to get it done. And that should be a good combination. Thank you.
Mr. President, what is your assessment on Ukraine's strike on Russian oil refineries and military factories?
Where are you from?
Ukraine.
Phrase the question differently, please.
Ukraine delivered a lot strikes on Russian military factories and on oil refineries, and they ran out of gas.
Marco, what are you missing that? Because you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, no, I think what you're discussing is the ability of Ukraine to reach deep inside of Russia and conduct strikes. I think that's one of the dynamics that's changed in this war over the last few months, and that is that the Russians are finding it more difficult to defend their own airspace. So what we hope that means is that it's going to create the space now to negotiate the end of this war.
It's an escalation, but it's also an escalation that can help lead to an end.
Mr. Putin might be seeking for the settlement.
So where are you from?
Radio for Europe's Ukrainian Service. I'm from Ukraine.
Okay. Because I talked to him, I talked to him, I talked to President Zelensky, and I think that's all I've done. My whole life I made deals. That's, I guess becoming president was making a deal, right? It was like a lot of little individual things. In the end, it's making a deal. And that's what I do. And I do it well, and I know when people want to make a deal. I think he wants to make a deal. And I do feel that President Zelensky would like to get back to rebuilding this country as opposed to, having all of this death and destruction. Ukraine has tremendous potential. He understands that. We talk about that. He talks about that more than he talks about the war. To me, I think you might find that more exciting than the war. This is brutal. The end is the beauty of it. I think he'll build a great country. I think he's going to build it. We have a little stake in that country now because we have some land in that country, but we have minerals. It's among the wealthiest. It's among the best land anywhere in the world for rare earth. And we have some rare earth. I look forward to taking advantage of it at the right time.
Patriot missiles in Europe.
He's one of my favorite soldiers. I see him. He's central casting. You doing okay? Yes. We see him at meetings. He's good. He's done a great job. Great job. To all of us. Yeah. Great hero, actually.
Mr. President, will you allow Europe to make Patriot interceptors in Europe? Are you comfortable with licensing that technology?
What?
Patriot interceptors to be made in Europe.
And you're talking with respect to Ukraine. Well, we're going to talk about that. Look, it's a defensive weapon, which I like, better than an offensive weapon. It's the best. So I was saying we have an aircraft carrier, which is one of the most beautiful in the world. It's one of the biggest, the Abraham Lincoln. And 2 months ago, we had 100, I told this story yesterday, we had 111 missiles shot by the Islamic Republic of Japan. They were shot at the aircraft carrier over a period of about 1 hour. 111 missiles going to a very expensive ship. And every one of those missiles was knocked down. Pretty much most by Patriots, but by other means also, as you know. Other less expensive means. It's even better when you do that. But out of the 111 missiles, every one of them was shot down. It didn't hit the ship, and bad things happen, right, when that happened. So think of that, over a period of 1 hour, these missiles are coming at you, and every one of them shot down. So I think one of the things we're going to be talking about is, as you know, the companies, we have great power over the companies.
This guy thinks it's like a video game or something, playing with the military lives over here.
Companies that make the Patriot.
He's nothing but a draft-dodging bone spur.
All of the great stuff, the Tomahawks, all of the great stuff. We have the best many things. The Patriots great, but we have many, many great things. You see that with Venezuela. You see it with Iran. Look, Iran has been wiped out. Iran, their Navy's gone, their Air Force is gone, everything's gone. But one of the things I think we're going to be talking about today, a little birdie told me this, about the fact that we'll give them the right to make Patriots. We'll show them how to do it. It's very complex.
Actually, if Kamala was president right now, we'd all be eating steak and lobster, hanging around the bonfire, singing Kumbaya, enjoying cheap gas and groceries. No illegal wars. We don't have health care. Everyone would just be happy.
But it's you'll figure out the complexity quickly, and we're talking about that. And the company that makes them, which is building now 4 plants. All of our companies will be able to do this in 2 to 3 months. If you order a Patriot, now you have to wait a long time for it. Same thing with Tomahawks. We have a lot of certain equipment, but with they call it the elite equipment, and you don't need elite equipment necessarily for a war. But so one of the things we're going to be talking about is we're going to give a license to you to make Patriots. That's pretty cool, right? This way you can't complain that we're not giving them enough. They say, make them yourself. We haven't informed the company of that yet, but that'll work out all right. I'm sure they'll be thrilled. But, they'll be able to do it. You'll be able to figure that out. Most countries couldn't do that. No. If I said that to most countries, they wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But this is a very ingenious group. And what I like about that,
I mean, just look at the state fair. Donald Trump's failed 250th thing, people were falling from the sky, parachutes, pieces of the stage were falling down, melting ice cream, reflecting pool, tearing down the east wing of the White House, killing all the grass. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on.
Defensive. It's a defensive situation, isn't it?
And not only that, he stole all the money for that. He secretly transferred it to another account, and he disguised the name something similar. And he just funneled all the money to his personal accounts, and he just did the bare minimum. That's why there's one Ferris wheel there that barely worked. People were passing out from heat exhaustion. There was no water stations, no misters.
Offensive. But I think one of the things you might want to be talking about is that's what I heard. Little birdie told me that.
Hey, what's up, Just Mona?
Clarify, does the end of the ceasefire mean that we are back to a full-scale military conflict?
They violate the agreement every day. They lie, they cheat, they kill people. They've been killing people for 47 years. They knocked out the SS Call. We lost, 200 people more. That was a long time ago. For 47 years, no president did anything about that. Well, Obama actually gave them vast amounts of money. You'd like this. He gave them a plane load of money, $1.7 billion in green cash. They loaded up a Boeing 757. Remember the old?
Oh yeah, there was a MAGA cult member there, arrested for indecent exposure at that fair. And then Donald Trump had everyone out there waiting, and there was almost another J6 insurrection.
It was a beautiful plane loaded up with cash. They took all the seats out, and they took all of the cash from Virginia, Maryland, and D.C. banks. They had no money. They took every ounce of cash, put it in, flew it to Iran, and gave them the money. I wonder what these...
Antifa's not even it's not even a gang or anything. It's not even an organization. Anyone that, so all the MAGA cult members are pro Tifa, I guess. I guess they love it. They're pro Tifa.
When the cash fell out of this big plane, beautiful plane, and then on top of that,
they're boot-licking, orange ball-licking pro Tifas.
The billions and billions of dollars. And by the way, they gave it to the wrong country, frankly. You want to know the truth. And it began, that was pretty much the Obama deal. That was one of the worst tragedies that happened. That's what happened in the Middle East. That deal set back that whole...
No, I'm over here doing my part, trying to save the United States from this scumbag right here, trying to get the word out on how low IQ he is and how he's destroying the country and all these MAGA cult members that follow his lead. They're all guilty of un-American activities. They're all communist cult members. I mean, Donald Trump over there rolled out the red carpet for Putin, so technically, Orange Man's their dad. Putin's their real daddy. Or actually, shit, Epstein started the whole MAGA movement. So Epstein's the MAGA cult member's daddy. Trump's just stepdaddy.
Frankly, they picked the wrong country. JC.
Yeah, Epstein and Steve Bannon started the maggot movement.
You see, what a terrible deal. I call it the Obama nuclear waste deal, because what he did with that deal is he caused tremendous hardship in the Middle East. It was a terrible, terrible thing to do. And we've been just the opposite. Our deal is a wall to a nuclear weapon. His deal was a road to a nuclear weapon. They'll never build a nuclear weapon under our deal, but I don't know if we're going to have a deal. We may just do it without a deal. Because you know what? It's easier. Because these people, they lie and they cheat, and you have an agreement, and they'll go outside. For instance, they agree, well, we'll never have a nuclear weapon. They agree. Then they go outside and have a news conference where they leak that we never discussed the subject. Now, who would believe we never discussed the subject? Because for me, that's 99.9% of what we're doing. It's denuclearization of Iran, okay? So when you ask, our guys can continue, you know, Steve is great, and Jared, and all the guys, they know him very well. Yeah, actually, they're working on your stuff too. I wonder I picked two beauties. You know what, we settled 8 wars, I got a couple of beauties here. But Steve's great and Jared's great, you know, they're the right guys. And we'll see what happens. But I will say this, Iran, they've misbehaved for 47 years. They've killed our soldiers, they've killed our people, and they've killed a lot of people all over the Middle East and elsewhere. And the roadside bomb was their preferred, the preferred weapon was by Soleimani, the roadside bomb, where it would explode under a truck. We actually built trucks with floors, steel this thick. And then all they did was they made bigger bombs. So we have young guys around, not walking around because they have no legs, but their legs were blown off, their arms were blown off, their face was blown off, and they live because of modern medicine. You can do anything, but they're living like in hell. Their whole life changed because of Iran. And that was 96% of the people that used that name, they were made in Iran. And so we have a score to settle to.
Mr. President, you say that President Putin is ready to finish this war. What if he doesn't? Are you ready to put pressure on Russia? Are you ready to
we have a lot of pressure. We have a lot of pressure on President Putin. You know, I don't think he likes what's going on. I don't think he's thrilled with what's happening. There's a lot of pressure on President Putin to get it done. I think it's pressure on everybody to get that one done. A lot of pressure.
What's your security guarantee for Ukraine?
The guarantee?
Yeah, security guarantee for Ukraine.
The security guarantee?
Yeah.
I mean, not that we want to do it. We'll do it to save lives. Look, Ukraine is very far away. We have an ocean separating us. What I'm doing is I'm trying to save lives. A lot of lives are being lost. I also think that it's a country with great potential. I think if this kind of brain power can go toward rebuilding the country instead of fighting a war, I think that country is going to do fantastically well. And likewise, Russia, look, they're devoting a lot of energy. Do you have a question for President Putin? Do you have a question?
What the hell? You just called Zelensky Putin.
President Putin, not Zelensky. Putin. What would you like to ask him? Because I'm going to ask him that question.
I have a question. Last year you called Russia a paper tiger, referring that they're not doing that.
What did I call?
I'm from the Ukrainian media.
No, give us a question, not for Zelensky. Give us a question for Putin. Because I'm speaking to him today.
Yeah,
When will we end this war?
That's a good question. I don't think I've ever asked it that question. I've been asking that question.
Mr. President, what's the status of a triangular treaty by
Say it?
Ukraine? What's the status?
By the way,
of
I will tell you though, he's gonna tell you that he wants it ended as soon as he can end it. He wants it ended, he wants to end it soon. And I ask him, and we talk, I talk to him a lot. I talk to him a little bit less, but the relationship is very good. But I talk to President Putin a lot, he wants to end the war.
Mr. President.
A lot of people don't believe that.
What's the status of the triangle between? What are President Putin's conditions for ending the war? Do you know what?
Well, they were certain conditions that were a little bit different. I think they're changing. I think they're probably getting a little bit better toward some of the things that you'd like. It's been tough in Russia. It's been a lot tougher than it was supposed to be. I mean, in all fairness, this was supposed to be this is a war that would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. You'd have a full country, I mean, just a shame that it happened. But no, this is something that I think Zelensky wants to do and Putin wants to do. They want to get it done. Ask the president that question. Ask him.
Пане президенте, ви знаєте, на яких зараз умовах Володимир Путін готовий завершувати війну в Україні? Чи ж вони змінилися?
I don't know what conditions Putin now wants for this peace. So I think that they are changing in any way because at the very beginning of full-scale war, he was stronger, and now I think he is losing initiative on the battlefield. I think his army. That's why I think that because of technologies, because it's not a question now of number of people. People, our heroic people, are very important. But now it's not a question of only number of people. First of all, people and technologies. People with technologies. Now I think that we have better steps, technological steps further than Russia. Maybe quicker. Because they produce a lot of different things which are tough, strong against us, but we are quicker. And that's why I think that now initiative moved to our hands. Not totally, but moved. We are trying to move this war to the sky from the battlefield. That's why we now begin to control the battlefield. This is very important. It's difficult when you have less people to move them back. But we found another way how to do it, to cut their logistic for their army. It's about weapon, petrol, diesel, without massive human losses. That is the difference between us, by the way. Russia is in this.
He's got a lot of support. I just left the room with, where they have, mostly European, Canada, but mostly European countries. And they have great support for Ukraine. And really great support. One of the things you talk about questions for Putin, but one of the things that I talked to him about was where would you want to meet? And he said ideally in Moscow. I said, you're not going to meet in Moscow. It just doesn't work. You can't do that. But he'll meet. And
Hey, didn't Trump say that he was going to solve the Russian-Ukraine war on his first day in office?
Meet, and something's going to happen that's going to be positive. And I hope it's going to happen soon. Because they have to, number one, lives, but number two, building your country. Because it's got a tremendous future, in my opinion. Yeah.
Where was it built and when would that happen?
I don't know. President Putin said, I would love to meet in Moscow. And I said, I don't think, I have to put myself in this position. I don't know that he'd go to Moscow. Maybe he would. Would you go to Moscow?
It's difficult. There are lots of Ukrainian drones there. That's right. It's dangerous. It's not dangerous. Europe.
No, it's hard to go to Europe.
Hey, what's up, Renogenic? All right. Yeah, it just occurred to me. Sorry, I missed your comment. But what up, everyone? What's up, Madame? What's up, Tyler? What's up, Teresa? What's up, Renegenic? What's up, Diggity? Hey, what's happening? What's up, Art? What's up, Edward? What's up, DJ? What's up, LeBron? Hope you guys are all doing well today. Thanks for hanging out and sharing your opinions, and everyone else that's in the chat that I didn't get to shout out, but definitely. I'd be watching this anyway, so I figured I'd live stream it so that way, we can all hang out and interact and have like a chat room where we can all just, have like a little town hall. So makes it definitely more entertaining than watching it by myself. So appreciate everyone out there that's hanging out and sharing your opinions and interacting. Please hit the like button. Thank you. So there's about 15 minutes left of this Zelensky-Trump press conference that they did this morning, and then after this, we'll check out a couple other press conferences Trump did. He did one with the president, I forget which one, and then he did another one with like Mark Rutte, the NATO guy. So we'll check those out.
Mr. President, how are you sure that Ukraine will not be attacked again by Russia?
What about?
How to make sure that Ukraine will not be attacked by Russia again?
Look, you mean in the future?
Yes.
You mean after this agreement? Well, we're going to work on a security guarantee and Russia respects us a lot, and we're going to work on some kind of a security. If we can make the right deal, we'll help Europe. I mean, Europe is going to be watching it. But we're going to be helping them, and we'll work on some kind of a security package and we'll make sure. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that if we make a deal, Russia is going to be very happy and they're going to get on with other things. They have, by the way, as a country, too, they have tremendous potential. They have tremendous land, valuable land that they can do things with, and they have tremendous potential. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see. That question is, they're going to attack again. I don't see it at all. I think they've had it. This has been going on for almost 5 years.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? I mean, it's a tribute because it's a bigger country, strong country, and it's an amazing tribute. Anything else?
With the Patriot missiles, President Zelensky has said that Ukraine needs Patriot missiles now. Over 50 Ukrainians have died in recent airstrikes just in the last few days. So in addition to these production licenses, which will take time, would you consider providing any to Ukraine immediately?
We have Patriots, but we don't have that many. We need them for ourselves too. Some, but I think they can produce them pretty quickly. Once we explain it, we'll bring the company here. We'll work with the company. They have a great ability to produce weapons, pretty complex weapons.
Will you go to Ukraine? Will you go to Ukraine?
Oh, yeah. I'd rather have the war be over.
Why do you
I'm not sure a Secret Service would be thrilled. I think it's incredible. And I mean, like Kiev, it would be nice to get it before any more damage is done, to be honest. It's such a beautiful city, right? And yeah, I would go to Ukraine at the right time.
Do you have any deadline when you want to reach a deal between Ukraine and Russia? Do you have any deadline in that regard?
No, I don't have a deadline. You can't have a deadline. It's it's too much going on. But
I mean, I think Putin has some like compromising like blackmail photos on Trump with the whole Epstein thing. Same with Netanyahu.
I think you're going to have a deal. I think
I mean, it's the only reason I can think of that Trump bootlicks Putin so hard.
Good. We had certain deals like Azerbaijan and some of the deals that we made. And they've been going on for 32 years, and they said it's an impossible thing to get them stopped. Eight different deals. Even in the Congo, it was, think of it, you have the Congo and Rwanda. That was 14 million people dead, a lot of them with machetes. It's horrible. We got that one solved. It flares up every once in a while, I must say. But we got deals done that weren't doable. But if you look at, India and Pakistan, they were at it. We get them done. And when we get them done, I find that people are not anxious to go back into it. I think we'll have, you once mentioned the word security guarantee in the Oval Office. And, I think they're going to need some kind of a security guarantee, but we're going to work with them. It's important. I think he thinks that's a very important thing.
The security guarantees are very important.
And they'll live by it.
Partially, the President said about Patriots and licenses. The Patriot system is the best, in the world for today. The best anti-ballistic system. So we used a lot of...
That's the best.
Yeah, the best one. And checked everything during the war. So this is true. So with all respect to other partners, we are thankful for all the systems. Patriots.
Well, they had different systems in Venezuela. So Venezuela had systems that didn't work. We didn't have one plane shot down. We didn't have one. We had one helicopter operator who was incredible. He landed perfectly and his leg was almost blown off, and we gave him the Congressional Medal of Honor because very few people could have landed that. You landed with your feet, really, more than anything else, and he landed and he was really in bad shape. And at the State of the Union, we gave him, he was a handsome guy, big handsome guy, but we gave him the Congressional Medal of Honor at the State of the Union. So, look, he wants to get it done, and we're going to get it done.
What's the status on a drone deal between Ukraine and the U.S.?
And what's that?
What's the status of a drone deal between Ukraine and the U.S.?
Well, we would buy their drones, and we make drones. We make great drones, but they have an ability to make a lot of them, which is situation. They make them. They make them in basements. They make them wherever the hell you have a little shelter, even if you don't have shelter, I suspect, right? It's an amazing ability. Very few. Well, that's why I say with the Patriots, they would be able to do it. Most countries would not be able. They don't have the talent. You have very talented people. So, I think we're going to make that deal. We made that deal. We'd have great protection. I love the protection. Think if you had a lot of Patriots, you'd never be hit. And as an example, in Kiev, where they get hit with missiles, those missiles. Like what I said about the Abraham Lincoln, the missiles would be shot down. And I think you'd start making it pretty quickly. Right? You like my idea?
No, it's a great idea.
I think everybody likes that one.
As part of security guarantees, are you ready to close the skies in case Russia attacks again?
Go what?
To close the skies over Ukraine in case Russia.
It's been.
As a part of security guarantees, are you ready to impose a military?
If it's necessary, yeah. I mean, look, I tell you, when we have a deal, we're going to have a deal. Security guarantee or no security guarantee. If we have a deal, we're going to have a deal. We're not going to have to worry about what you're saying. We're going to have a deal. I think if we come to a solution, which I think we will, we're going to have a deal. Now, we want to make sure the deal sticks. Some people don't think it will. I think it will. I'm sure it will. I'm not sure it will with Iran. If we make a deal with Iran, I'm not sure that will stick.
May I ask you, what does your...
Because I found them to be very dishonorable people. Yeah.
Are you going to reimpose the naval blockade?
And I mean, I don't want to upset him, but everything I've done with President Putin has been okay. It's been good. He's going to say, but I would expect you to say that, but it's good. I don't think anything's going to be broken. And we're going to do a security guarantee in case it is. But with Iran, 47 years, this should have been done by another president a long time ago, or somebody else, another country. But they got stronger and stronger, and now they're weak.
Are you going to reimpose the naval
don't
blockade
forget,
on
we
Iranian
knocked out
ports?
159 ships in 1 week. That's good even for you, right? 159. Their entire navy is at the bottom of the sea. And now they have little boats, little tiny boats that go around. And we knocked about 28 of them out last night with the same weapon we used with the drug people. You know, drugs are down, by the way, drugs by sea are down 97%. Meaning nobody wants to get into those boats and take drugs into it. They're down 97%. And we're using the same thing for the mine boats. You know, they like to drop mines in. And we hit a lot of them last night, like 28. We knocked out 28 8 boats last night, little ones. That's all they have is little ones.
Are you gonna try to take out more tonight?
Will we go tonight? Normally I wouldn't tell you. I wouldn't tell you, but you know what? There's not a thing they can do about it. So the answer is probably.
President Trump.
He just said he's going tonight. Yeah, President, they deserve it.
President Trump, what is the effectiveness of last night's attack? What message does that send to what's left of the Iran
Which
retreat?
attack are you talking about?
The attack that you guys had on Iran last night. The strikes last night?
So I think it has a tremendous impact. Well, first of all, we took out additional, they were trying to rebuild their radar, and they had about 60% built. Now they have to start all over again. Look, we're not attacking at the highest level. The highest level of the bridges, which we can knock down. I would say in one day we knock down every single bridge in Iran. There's not a thing they can do about it. Their electric manufacturing facilities, right? Their electric plants where they make their electricity there. We will, if we have to, we'll take them out. I don't want to do that, but if we have to, we'll take them out. They have desalinization plants. We'll take them out if we have to. I hate to do that. That's probably the one I would like not to do least. We attacked Cargo Island last night, knocked out a piece. I said, don't touch the oil, because maybe we'll take over Cargo Island. We may take over Cargo Island. There's not a thing they can do about it. But I said, don't hit the pipes, just hit everything else. And they hit it. They may hit it again tonight. So, as for your question, normally I'm not that way. But they really deserve it. Because they're saying they want to make a deal, but they don't. They asked for a timeout. They wanted to go to the funeral of Khomeini. And I said, give it to them. And they start shooting missiles. I mean, it's a crazy thing. Now, we did kill him, so I guess you have to look at it that way. But the funeral took place, and
This guy's literally admitting to all his war crimes right now.
Have a period of time, and they also asked that we not kill them. And we said, we're not going to kill you. They were worried we'd kill them during the funeral. I mean, if you can believe it, what a crazy. Did you ever think I'd be doing this for a living? Marco, did anybody ever think I'm doing, maybe Pete, but this wasn't supposed to be for me. Pete loved this stuff from day one. But they said to us, please don't kill us during the funeral. I said, I won't. And we didn't do anything. In fact, we made it safe for them, actually. And what happens? They try and knock out two ships, the Saudi and I guess Kuwait, right? Kuwaiti, oh no, Qatari. In addition, really 3. So you had 3 of them. And it just, I just don't know with them. A lot of people say they're very dishonorable people and they can't keep a deal. So we'll see. Now, as to whether or not Steve Witkoff, Jared, and JD and everybody working in that will talk, I guess they can talk, but I'm not seeing it with them, with the people. My whole life is deals. I don't see it. I don't see it with them. There may be a big attack, and it'll knock out a lot of stuff. We don't knock out nothing. We knock out a lot. Pete, do you want to tell them about last night?
Yes, sir. Last night, as you said, a lot of small craft that they were trying to harass shipping with. So that was a big part of what we targeted. Underground facilities where they were storing drones or missiles, coastal defense sites, radar sites, surveillance sites, anything used to harass shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. So anything they thought they had rebuilt or capability they were using was a target last night. And tonight, if we need to, on your order, Mr. President, we will hit even more and even deeper because that's the consequence.
And we may put down the blockade. We may put it back, the blockade. And it'll only be a blockade for Iran. Anybody else can have whatever they want. Now, of course, they'll drop some mines if they can, if they can do it. But it's hard because we're taking out those little boats now with the same weapon we used to take out the drug lords and the boats coming in by sea. Think of it, 97%. For years, we had fentanyl and all the other drugs coming in from different countries, including Venezuela. And it was, arrest them and bring them to a court. They'd be released and they'd be back on another boat the next. 97%. What was done in the past had no impact. 97% drugs down coming in by sea. And now we're going to start doing it by land. The land is easy when we had to do sea first. And nobody, I mean, I think the 3% of the people that still do that, I think they're the bravest people in the world. And maybe we should probably give them a medal for bravery. Because it's there. And we're using the same exact missile to take out the mine drop. They call mine droppers. But we have minesweepers. And one of the things that came up today is that European nations, the NATO group, they're sending minesweepers. We don't need them now. We have pretty much the mines that cleared out, but they'll probably drop some more. They're evil people. They're sick people. They're mentally disturbed people. And it should have been done 47 years ago. Thank you, everybody.
All right, so that was a press conference that Trump had earlier today with Zelensky at that NATO summit over in Ankara, Turkey. All right, let's go see another one from this morning, catching up on all this, on all of Trump's lies. Got to hold him accountable. Keep track of all his lies. All right, let's go. All right, he met with the Syrian president right here. Let's see what's up with this.
And we're proud of the job he's doing. Syria's.
All right, this came out this morning.
Put it together.
Hey, what up, everyone? Thanks for hanging out. And feel free to interact, share your opinions, and please hit the like button. Thank you.
One person, he's a great leader. He's respected by everybody, including me. And we're proud to have him together. We just need to talk a little bit. We released sanctions from the country, which really, I think, was a big boost. Sanctions was a very important thing. And we're proud of the job he's doing. Syria's become a very stable, I mean, it's amazing. In a short period of time, it's really been stabilized. And we're proud of that. And to be part of the Middle East. Syria had one of the great cultures, the professors and lawyers and doctors, and had one of the great cultures of any country, not just Middle East. And then it went through this terrible period of time. But it's a country that a lot of people are very proud of, and they're proud of the job he's done. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, Donnie, we got culture. All you got is a cult.
في الحقيقة نحن حققنا إنجاز كبير في تحرير سوريا وإسقاط النظام السابق. We have made a great achievement in the toppling of the former regime. طبعا عن الرئيس خلال سنة ونصف حققنا إنجاز كبير في توحيد البلاد ووضع على السكة الصحيحة من التنمية والاقتصاد. And as President Trump said in a year and a half, we made an achievement in bringing the country together, unifying the country and put it back on track. هذا الفضل الشعب القوي الشعب السوري اللي تكلم عنه الرئيس ترامب. Of course, this is due to our strong people, the strong Syrian people that President Trump talked about. Then the historic decision that President Trump has taken by lifting the sanctions on Syria. As well as the help of friendly countries and the loving countries in the region, Turkey and other countries in our neighborhood. The entire Syrian people thanks President Trump.
Thank you. Brownie. Do you have any questions?
Mr. President, are you going to remove Syria from the state-sponsored terrorism list?
I think I will, really. I think I will. He's done a great job.
That's wild. He's got the president of Syria sitting next to him, and then a reporter says, "Are you going to remove him from the state-sponsored list?" Oh man, what the hell?
Maybe he would have brought that up. That's a good question. Yeah. Any problems with that? I think we should. Yeah, I will.
Do you still want Syria to help with Hezbollah in Lebanon?
They could help. We'll find out. I think we're making a lot of progress.
Mr. President,
Mr. President, would do a very good job.
Prime Minister Netanyahu has been critical of aspects of your relationship in the last couple of days with President Erdogan of Turkey. He said that that Erdogan has imperial ambitions on neighboring countries, presumably including Syria.
Well, he hasn't been involved with Syria. If you think he hasn't been involved with Israel at all, and he's left it alone. I wouldn't say he's a friend, because he's not a friend.
If he had two heads, he'd still have one brain cell.
As you know, Netanyahu or Bibi, they don't get along, I think. But, for me, he's been great. Look, Turkey's been fantastic and a fantastic ally. They're also a NATO country. And Israel, we've done, no president's done as much for Israel as I have. Nobody even close. If you look at, just look at all the things with Jerusalem, all the different things that we've done. The Golan Heights, did things. Nobody has ever done anything for Israel like me. And we've made tremendous progress. And we've made a lot of progress with Iran too. Wiped out their military, but they should have been done 47 years ago.
And if I could, do you think that that Prime Minister Netanyahu should be reelected? There's an election coming in Israel, or would you like to see him?
I can tell you this: he's been a great wartime president. We worked out with the Prime Minister. So we worked with each other very closely, and we went through a very big thing. We did a big thing together, and in my opinion,
at the end of the day, the only thing Donald Trump cares about is just money. He doesn't care about anything. He's just robbing everyone blind.
Great.
And killing people and hurting people along the way.
I'm Prime Minister. I don't know anything about his politics. I'm not sure. I would think he should be popular because he did a very good job. We had and have a very good relationship. But he was a great wartime Prime Minister.
President,
if you had other Prime Ministers, you know what? They wouldn't be in Israel right now. You know that? They wouldn't be. It would have been blown to pieces by Iran. If you had a weak Prime Minister, you wouldn't have. And if you had a different president, I guarantee there wouldn't be an Israel. Israel wouldn't exist today if you didn't have me as president.
President, you said the Energy Information Administration revealed that U.S. crude oil production set a new record in the month of April under your leadership.
That's right.
Why is it important to keep hitting numbers like this at this moment in time? Why is it important that you were able to get this done and keep it on this trajectory?
Well, when we decided to do this, it's called the denuclearization of Iran. We have to do it. We have to have. They're never going to have a nuclear weapon, and they admit they're never going to have it. But they behave badly. Always behave badly. There's something wrong with them. But when we did this, we thought oil would go much higher, and it didn't go very high. Now it's coming way down, and you're going to see oil drop very low. Now maybe we'll do some other things that could lift it a little bit, but I don't think it's going to lift it a lot at all. I think oil is coming down. There's tremendous amounts of oil. Scott, what would you say about that?
So record production under President Trump in his first term. Now in his second term, the U.S. is an energy superpower. It's why we weather the conflict better than anyone else. And they're just this weekend, Bloomberg wrote that there is an oil glut out there, and we think that safe.
Oh man, this Scott Bessent guy is horrible. He's another piece of crap.
Secure American oil, maybe even should trade at a premium to the rest of the world.
So we have, if you add it up, you take Saudi Arabia and take Russia, two big oil producers, and we do more than twice as much. We do more than, think of it, Saudi Arabia and Russia put together, we do more oil. And that's not including Venezuela. It's pretty amazing. And this all happened during my term. We started it at the first term. Biden blew it because he had no idea what he was doing. But we are producing more oil right now than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined by almost double. Okay, any other questions? Yes.
You've said that dealing with the Iranians is a waste of time. How do you plan to get the nuclear material and the nuclear assurances that you want?
Well, we've already got the nuclear material because it's so far underground, nobody's going to be able to get it except us because we have the equipment that can get it. But I go with the nuclear test. The nuclear material is so far down underneath the mountain, and now that's been determined, that it would take massive machinery that we have that no other country has.
Mr. President, so you have no plans to go in boots on the ground?
Why would I go in there? I go in when they're completely either eliminated or whatever happened, or an agreement's made.
Mr. President,
Yes.
if you cut off trade with Spain, does that mean that you're going to have to renegotiate a trade agreement with the EU?
With who?
With the EU, any past trade agreements you already have?
We're gonna see what happens with the EU. You know, they've treated us very badly for years, and they took advantages. Look, we're very close to those countries, right? And to everybody in the EU. The problem is they took advantage of the United States for years. It's like him. They took advantage of Syria. He's bringing it back. And I'm bringing the United States back.
Hey, didn't Donald Trump invite like the Taliban to the White House during his first term?
Biggest economy we've ever had. We have the biggest investment. 19.2 trillion is being invested right now in the United States. 3 trillion was the number, the record. Under Biden and under the past administration, they had less than $1 trillion for 4 years. We have 19.2 trillion in 12 months. Think of that. We have the largest amount of money being invested in a country in history. Pretty amazing. 19.2 trillion with a T. So, and they're building factories all over the country. I think yesterday Toyota announced they're leaving Mexico. And they're coming, not that Mexico's thrilled about it, but they're leaving Mexico and they're coming to the United States to build what will be, I believe, the largest automobile plant either in the world or at least in this country.
Mr. President, oil prices.
We have a domestic question. You announced on your social a couple days ago that Walmart was cutting price per coffee by 15%. How big of a deal is that for American customers this summer?
So Walmart has agreed to cut their prices very substantially because things are going down. We're getting it down. We inherited very high prices. We inherited the highest prices in the history of our country, for 48 years to be exact. But I don't believe that. I think it's in history. So under Biden, they had tremendous inflation. Under the Democrats, we had tremendous inflation, record-setting inflation.
Hey, didn't Trump just say recently, wasn't he quoted as saying that he loves inflation?
Oh, inflation is way down. Everything is great. We have the prices are coming down, but we inherited, they talk about they use different words to describe it. They had very high prices. The prices are coming down. And when the oil comes, the oil is coming way down. The oil dropped by 50% in the last month. And when that comes down, it brings everything else down. It's affordability. And they came up with the word affordability. Like, I take over, I'm there for one day, and they say, affordability. Affordability. I said, I've been here for, remember with the eggs, the first day or 2 days later, I have my first news, and they talked about eggs. They said the eggs have gone up 5 times. I've been in office for 1 day. And I said, well, I can do something. In fact, they told me not to order eggs for the Easter egg hunt at the White House.
Well, Trump, you did say that you're going to end the Ukraine war on day one.
I should use plastic. I said, we're not doing that. And by the time we came, it was a couple of months later, that happened, and we ordered thousands of eggs. And right now, eggs are way down. The prices are way down, and they're coming down further.
Actually, they haven't. I just bought a dozen eggs, and they were $8.
They made up a phony word that they used. They said affordability. They're the ones that caused the affordability crisis. I didn't, but I brought it down, and the oil is coming down very big.
Mr. President, Brent crude is up slightly today on the announcement that
anytime we hit them, it goes up a little bit, $2.
Is that what you mean? Is that what you meant when you said that we might see oil prices lift a little in response to?
Yeah, $2, very little. It's down from, let's say, $135 down to $69. It's dropping, and everything else drops. As oil goes, so goes everything else. But anytime if we hit Iran, oil goes up a little bit. It's all right.
Mr. President, do you think Israel?
We're de-nuking it. We're de-nuking Iran. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon. All right, one more question.
Sir, do you think Israel should withdraw troops from southern Lebanon?
Well, I don't agree with that. Yeah, I think they're going to. I think they want to. I don't think it's a question of me. I think it's a question
of accordion heads.
And they're getting along with Lebanon. They're signing deals with Lebanon. First time ever. Marco, talk about that.
Yeah, we have an agreement that's the goal.
That lady got him right there on that question. He had to hand it off to Narco Bubio. Let's hear that one again. Yeah, she asked him right now about if he thinks that Netanyahu should withdraw troops from Lebanon. Then he started doing the accordion hands.
It's up a little bit. It's all right.
Mr. President, do you think Israel?
We're denuking it. We're denuking Iran. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon. All right, one more question.
Sir, do you think Israel should withdraw troops from southern Lebanon?
Well, I talked to Bibi about that. Yeah, I think they're going to. I think they want to. I don't think it's a question of me. I think it's a question they want to. And they're getting along with Lebanon.
No, Jason, unlike you MAGA cult members, the people that never have and never will drink the Kool-Aid, we're actually patriots. And we're doing our civic duty of letting it be known how much of a piece of crap this orange man is, calling him out in real time of his lies.
Deals with Lebanon, first time ever. Marco, talk about that.
Yeah, we have an agreement that, and that's the goal at the end. Obviously, Israel's concerned about their security, but the president did a great job bringing those two countries together for the first time.
It's a big thing. First time in many years, right? So we have a deal with Israel and Lebanon, and yeah, they'll leave, and I think it's going to work out very well. But we're here for this because Syria has turned around as fast as I've ever seen. Well, actually, I turned the United States around very fast too. I inherited from a man who was not smart, not a smart person. We inherited from.
I mean, under Biden, we were eating steak and lobster. Under Trump, we got RFK Jr. liver.
The men were they were running this country so badly with the open borders. There were 25 million people allowed into our country, and that includes 11,888 murderers, most of whom murdered more than one person, okay? So we got most of them out, or we have them in jail. Now we've done a great job. Washington, D.C. now is considered one of the safest cities in the country. If he came to Washington, D.C. a year and a half ago, he'd fear for his life, even though he never feared for his life before, because it was very dangerous. But somehow his territory might have even been a little more dangerous. I joke because, you know, he comes from a rough environment. Would you say that's right, Tom Barron?
That's not true, Shady. Gavin Newsom just had a really powerful press conference the other day, actually. And he called out Trump on all his corruption and, you know, and it shows, you know, California, we're the best state in the country. Got the best weather, got the hottest everything. As a matter of fact, once we take back the House and the Senate and this blue wave tsunami, it's going to be Gavin Newsom slapping the cuffs on Trump personally and throwing him in prison. So all you MAGA cult members out there, get used to your new daddy. His name's Gavin Newsom.
I don't think he'd be too concerned with Washington a year and a half. But we had a very, very unsafe Washington, D.C., and now it's one of the safest cities in the country. We put the military in. This Washington went from being an unsafe to one of the safest cities, and crime is down 94%. We don't play games. We removed over 5,000 career criminals, many of whom came in through the open borders of Joe Biden. We did the same thing with Memphis, Tennessee. We did the same thing with in Louisiana. You have to speak to the governor because New Orleans, the crime rate is down 78%, in a little while, and they had the best Mardi Gras they've ever had. So we're doing a good job, and he's done a great job too. And I thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Chris.
All right, so that was a press conference that Trump did earlier today with the president of Syria. All right, let's go see it. I think this is the last one from this summit, so let's check it out. I mean, we made it this far listening to Trump. I think we can go another 15 minutes or so. So let's go. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. It's in here somewhere. Let's see here. be at? All right, that's that guy. We watched that one. I think it's this one. All right, yeah, it's this one. All right, so this one came out this morning as well. So we just got 18 more minutes of Trump speak left, but we got to do it, guys. It's the patriotic duty to call him out on all his bullshit. Because there's a lot of people out there that are lost and confused, so we got to let them know. Keep this blue wave tsunami going. Got to get to them before the terrorist organization TPUSA does. All right, this is titled Breaking News. Trump says Iran ceasefire is over and calls Iranian leaders scum at NATO summit. All right, let's see what this is all about. It's going to be another Trump crash out.
But a lot of things have been determined and some things haven't, frankly. We attacked very powerfully last night the very dangerous people from Iran. They're sick. There's something wrong with them. We said, go and do your funeral stuff. And instead of that, they start shooting rockets at ships yesterday. And so we hit them very hard last night, very hard. I would say 20-1, 20 times tougher. I told them every time you hit, we hit. And of course, they're dirty players, so they go after everyone, probably including me. I've been number one on their list for years. And they're a bunch of scum, you want to know the truth. They're scum. And,
oh, have you looked in the mirror lately, poopy diaper boy? Looks like you're the scumbag.
We don't like.
Over there, racially profiling people, kidnapping them off the streets, throwing them in concentration camps, and feeding them maggots and moldy bread, and executing Renee Good and Alex Preddy.
I don't like them. And they're evil people, and it's the denuclearization of Iran. And we're going to denuke it. We're not going to let them because they're crazy, and they can't have a nuclear weapon. And they go around killing people. They've killed thousands and thousands of our soldiers. They've killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people. They had the roadside bomb, Soleimani. I took care of him first term. And that was a big thing because I think he probably would be a lot stronger had he been around because he was a bad guy, but he was an evil genius, but a bad guy. And he was the father of the roadside bomb. The roadside bomb is a bomb that goes on when you're driving your little vehicle around and it goes on and you have no legs, no arms.
I mean, what's up, Art? I mean, I'm guessing you probably have the Trump Bible. Isn't it the Christian thing to do to treat everyone with human decency?
And they've killed thousands and thousands of people. Even the SS Cole was theirs. You remember that disaster. So I don't like them at all. And frankly, I think we waste a lot of time with them. I think we should just do our business. Can you imagine? They start shooting bombs, actually missiles at ships yesterday. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, a couple of others. And I don't think they know what the hell they're doing, but they're bad people, very bad people. I think they're incompetent, by the way. Because if they were competent, they would have made a deal a long time ago, like, how about 47 years ago? So they've been in trouble for 47 years, and we took out their first set of leaders, we took out their second set of leaders. They want to take out the U.S. leader, me. I'm on every list. I saw things this morning, I'm on every single one of their lists. And so far, I guess I've been a little bit lucky, but that maybe doesn't last very long because that's the way it goes. We have great people, but these are evil, sick people, and we have to rid their cancer. Their cancer. And you know what you do? You got to cut out cancer early.
Nah, you're the cancer, Trump. If any cockroach.
Man, that's the way I feel. And I want to thank Mark. He's been a great Secretary General of NATO. I'm not happy with NATO because of what they did with Greenland. And I'm not happy with NATO because of the fact that they didn't want to help us with the number one state sponsor of terror, that's Iran. They were unwilling to help us. Now, in all fairness, I didn't speak to Mark about it. I think if I did, it might have been different, but we didn't need help. But I was really testing. I wanted to see whether or not they'd be there. And the answer is, I spoke to Germany, I spoke to France, spoke to UK, spoke to.
Nah, anyone that supports this orange shirt is participating in un-American activities, and they're going to get sentenced to 40 hours of community service for their treason, or get sent back to Jonestown.
I didn't speak to Spain. Spain is a wasted cause. We don't want to do any trade business with Spain anymore, by the way. I'd like you to cut it out. Spain is a terrible partner in NATO. They don't participate, they don't pay. I don't want anything to do with Spain. Cut off all trade with Spain, please, including visits. Okay, we don't want anything to do. Watch them come running back. Oh, they'll come running back. They treat this man terribly, and this man's a good man too, a great man. They're lucky they have him. But Spain doesn't agree to anything, and you shouldn't carry him. I mean, you sort of automatically carry because you're protecting an area, so they're there. So they probably figure they have to protect us, right? But we don't have to. We don't have to trade with them. I don't want to do any more trade with them. All right? Take it immediately. You don't even talk to them. They're hopeless. Bad people, because, you know, they have everybody else going and paying and working. At Spain, in particular Spain, there are a couple of others, but in particular Spain, they're open about it. They're hostile about it. And let's see how hostile they remain when they call up and they, please, we want to trade with you, sir. We want to trade with you, sir. It makes so much.
Man, this guy's just a big baby right here. What an egotistical maniac. Narcissist.
See that they make a lot less.
Even Jeffrey Epstein said this guy doesn't have a single good bone in his body.
I want no business with them. So, other than that, we're having the big meeting in a little while, and I'm gonna relate my problems. Greenland is a big problem for us, and the other big problem is the fact that when we wanted them, we didn't want them badly, but we did say, if you want to join us, and they all said no. But when they could have, they weren't there for us, and we've been there for them. We spent over $1 trillion over the last short period, $1 trillion, in order to protect these countries from Russia. And has nothing to do with us. We have an ocean, but it's been a long-term thing, and they haven't treated us right. And Mark understands that. He understands that. And we're going to work something out, I think, one way or the other. But we've been treated unfairly. We pay disproportionately. We had a time when we were paying 100%. We were paying 100% of NATO, and yet a lot of the countries weren't paying anything. But there was calls made a few weeks ago. I spoke with the UK, and the Prime Minister said, well, we don't want to help you now, but we'll help you when the war's over. I said, that's not good. And likewise, I spoke to Germany. They didn't want to help. Spoke to France. Didn't want to help. Nobody wanted to help. Some of the very small countries wanted to help because they're the most vulnerable, and that's the only reason they wanted to help. So I appreciate you being here. We're going to be going back together, many of us together. And again, I want to say, despite the fact that I'm very upset with NATO, that we pay far, far too much, billions and billions of dollars too much, because it's unfair, because we're protecting them. So we protect them, but they're not there for us. Think of it. It doesn't work. But I want to say this is a great leader. They're lucky they have him. It's their biggest asset, you want to know the truth. So, Mark, would you say a few words?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. President, dear Donald. Let me start with Iran. We discussed it last night at the presidential palace. I think what you did, degrading the nuclear capability, crucial for Israel, the region, for Europe, degrading the ballistic missile capability of Iran, crucial for Israel, for the region, for Europe, for the whole world. And then trying to bring this to a peaceful end. They attacking ships yesterday. I think what you did last night was absolutely necessary. It was a very strong response. And I'm with you on this. It's really important. When it comes to NATO, what you have achieved, and this is a huge thing, and I just want to say this again, the last 2 years, Canada and European NATO nations spending $215 billion more in 2024 and 2025 and 2026 compared to 2024. This is staggering, $258 billion. In the meantime, almost 200,000 jobs in the US being supported by all the investments by countries in the United States in the defense industrial base, buying from the defense industrial base from the US companies. So here you see you have been able to really get them to step up, to do this. And when it comes to Iran, I know you're disappointed. We discussed it a couple of weeks ago. I would say these are isolated cases. 5,000 planes taking off from European airports in support of Epic Fury. It was Europe as one big platform of power projection for the United States, helping with Epic Fury, including countries you mentioned, Germany, from day one.
Operation Epstein Fury.
And many others. We discussed the Bucharest airport, which was closed for a couple of days for commercial traffic because you needed it for Epic Fury. And
the United Kingdom wouldn't let us use the island for 2 weeks, so we had to fly back.
No, so I'm saying you're right.
I mean, that's the whole reason he started the unlawful war to begin with. I mean, mainly to like steal a bunch of money from everyone, just loot the world and our country, but also as a distraction because Pam Bondi gave that disastrous hearing, and Trump got exposed with this, being complicit with the Trumpstein files. So he figured, he'll just use it as a distraction and also, fatten his pockets at the same time.
And Italy was very bad, having to do with their bases, as you know, and a couple of others. So
but still, generally, 5,000 is huge. And you mentioned Spain. Even you got Spain to pay 2%. They made a huge step last year. So there's still issues we have to solve. But also even Spain, I would say they go to the 2%. And I know you have a very strong relationship with the United Kingdom, the King, but also you personally always with Keir Starmer, who is now leaving office. He has now also committed to spend another $20 billion extra, 15 billion pounds on defense. So I would argue, without you in this chair, this would not have happened. It is, of course, because of Russia, but also because of you. So grab to win, it's there. You did this. It was the Hague, and now they are implementing it. And on Greenland, you and I made a deal in Davos. I will make sure that deal.
Yeah, right, dude, Patriot. You're probably like some dude with 6 teeth defending people with 8 yachts living in like the middle of like a swampland in Alabama or something.
It's step by step being implemented. That you can deploy if you want the Golden Dome on Greenland. You have your trilateral talks. Marco is leading them from your side with the Greenlanders and the Danes. And that comes to if they would change their constitutional position in the kingdom, etc. But hey,
just so they understand, Greenland is very important for the United States, but it's not important for Denmark. In fact, when Denmark was overrun by the Nazis in less than 1 day, Hitler beat them out in 1 day, took over, and they asked us to take care of Greenland. In fact, we took Greenland, and then stupidly we gave it back. We shouldn't have given it back to them because we're the ones that need it. We need it for protection of the world, not just the United States. And it's very important. It doesn't help Denmark, but it helps us. And it's very important for us. And again, they were defeated very quickly. Denmark was beaten in 1 day, less than 1 day, by the Nazis, by Hitler. And when this happened, they immediately switched it over to us. We owned it. We had it. We were taking care of it, and then we gave it back, which is, I don't know why. I wouldn't have given the Panama Canal back either, so what do I know? I certainly wouldn't have done that because China's trying to take over the Panama Canal. That's not going to happen. So, but I just, it's interesting. I'm very unhappy with NATO, and yet this man is a great leader, and he gets it. He gets it. Maybe.
Yeah, the only thing he probably studied of World War II was Adolf Hitler.
Some of the leaders.
But also your allies get it thanks to you, and that is important. I could not do this without.
I mean, according to his ex-wife, that mysteriously fell down some stairs and is buried on his golf course for tax purposes. She said that he had Mein Kampf and he read it every night.
Biden didn't do it, or Obama.
Hey, but you're here now.
Obama.
And you're in Trump 45 and Trump 47. In total, more than $1.2 trillion. I call this the Trump trillion.
No, it's true.
$1.2 trillion extra spent by Canada and the.
And I'm not always blaming NATO. They got a free ride. And if Biden had any brain, which he didn't, he would have said, you got to pay more. And same with Obama. 2 bad presidents. But they could have asked, and you would have done that too. It would have been, who knows? Who knows if they would have
happen? And it been huge.
It should have happened years ago. And it couldn't. But Obama didn't do it. And Biden didn't do it. And frankly, Bush didn't do it either.
But you did what Eisenhower started trying to do, equalizing the
He tried,
Europeans.
yeah.
He tried.
Eisenhower tried.
And all the other presidents, none of them were successful. You were the first one. It's your win. Your win in the end.
That's why I like him.
And you win.
That's why I like
This is true. Without you, this would not have happened. Really.
You have any questions?
Mr. President, is the ceasefire over? If the ceasefire done, is the MOU dead?
It's a very interesting question. To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with anybody with this scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people. And they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. They're good people. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner.
Oh, God. Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner aren't even approved by the American people. They're just a bunch of losers just like you, man.
Have to come. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time, Dylan.
As far as I'm concerned, you're a waste of everything.
They're liars. We make a deal. And if I make a deal with him, we have a deal, and he goes out, he talks. We make a deal. Everyone's agreed. No nuclear weapon. We make a deal. They go outside, talk to the press. They say, we never even talked about it. There's something wrong with them. They're cuckoo. As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Will resume after we get through the funeral proceedings.
What?
Or does this mean that talks with Iran will not resume?
I don't care. They can talk, but I think they're wasting their time. They're a bunch of lying guys. I do it my whole life. That's all I do is deals. My whole life is that's how I became president. I guess that's a deal too, right?
Dude, you got nothing but failed casinos.
I made a lot of money. I had a lot of great success. Tremendous success. Everything I did, I was successful. And I deal with these guys and they say, this is from a different school. They're liars. They're cheats. They're sick people. They've hurt their people. They killed 54,000 people as of now that were protesting. You know, when people say, how come they haven't taken over? They can't take over because they're dead. They killed them. Nobody's going to take over. They have no guns, and the other side has machine guns. And they're killing them. The press doesn't report it. But they're bad people. They're bad people. And frankly, I don't want to waste my time with them. Now, I'll let
Trump University, Trump Steaks, just Trump everything.
Wonderful negotiators keep talking.
The Trump Kennedy Center, the reflecting pool, everything he touches, he's a failure.
But I don't see it. I don't like these people. You know that? I like him. I like the leaders. I think all of these leaders. And I think they didn't treat the United States fairly for many years, but that's okay. But they're sane, rational, good people. Most of them. I don't like a couple of them, to be honest with you. But there are a couple I don't like much. But I like Erdogan. I'll tell you, I like President Erdogan. He rolled out the red carpet. He's terrific. You know, he could have gone into a lot of people saying, like with Bibi, I like Bibi. I think Bibi was a terrific wartime prime minister. But Bibi said rough things yesterday about Turkey and Erdogan. And I said, you know, I spoke to him. I said, he could have gone into the war because he doesn't like Israel much. And he doesn't like Bibi much. And he didn't go because of me. And this is a military power. Millions of soldiers. Turkey is very strong. They have a lot of our best equipment. They're trying to get the F-35s. But he didn't go in. He wanted. He would go in. If it weren't for me, he would have gone in. And he would have been on the other side. Even though I don't think he likes the other side either, because he happens to be very sane and they happen to be very crazy. But so I think, you know, they treated us right. I think China treated us right. I was with President Xi and I said, I hope you know.
Oh, yeah, he gave Argentina $40 billion. And then he screwed over all the U.S. farmers. And he imported foot and mouth disease meat from Argentina. We gave him $40 billion. And then he's making screwworm great again, and malaria and Ebola.
To the war.
I mean, COVID-19 started under his watch.
That, you know, he gets 50% of his oil from the Strait of Hormuz, and he gets more than 50%. And he never went into the war. He didn't supply him equipment. You know, he was.
Oh yeah, measles.
Big fan of President Xi. A lot of people say, oh, why? You know, I watched a couple of people critical of the fact that TikTok is so bad, it's so dangerous, it's so horrible, they're spreading all these rumors. And the numbers came out yesterday. You know who's number one on TikTok? I am. I'm number one on TikTok. And all I talk about is how bad communism is, right? They say, oh, it's terrible, they're spreading, but I'm number one. I listen to Gordon Chang. I like Gordon Chang.
Yeah, you're number one at everybody calling you on your bogusness.
It's like negative. Oh, China's so terrible. They're so terrible. And TikTok is so terrible. But I'm number one on TikTok. I had like 4 billion views or something like that. So I don't know. People have to get their priorities straight. We have had a really good day. We're going to have another good half a day. And then I'll see you later. We'll talk to you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. That's enough of Trump. We're Trumped out. All right, let's move on to looks like JD Just Dance Vance is doing a speech right now. Let's go tap into this.
Currently pregnant with baby number 4.
All right, let's see what JD Just Dance Vance has to
say.
say.
Again, these are very important procedures for the people who need them. What?
So this is live right now, but I'm gonna rewind this to the beginning of it. All right, let's see what JD Just Dance Vance has to say here. All right. Oh God, this walk-up song. Man, Creedence Clearwater doesn't even like you, pal.
It's great to be here.
All right, this is titled Vice President JD Just Dance Vance delivers remarks in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. All right, here we go. Listen to all those people that are paid to be there. Sounds like a junior high school gymnasium.
How are you in Milwaukee? There we go. So, we had an event earlier today. Please take a seat. We had an event earlier today at the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee. Beautiful place.
Oh yeah, Vice President Eyeliner.
Yeah, I mean, honest, I had a little bit of PTSD because the last time that I was in that hotel was the 2024 RNC convention. And if y'all remember, I flew to Milwaukee the Monday morning that the RNC convention starts, and I get there, and I have no idea if I'm the VP nominee or not. So I get to my hotel, which is not the Pfister, it's at the other hotel for the RNC convention, and I get a phone call. Actually, it was a text message from Susie Wiles, who was the campaign manager in 2024, and the text message says, JD.
Oh yeah, Donald Trump was trying to say that there was like over 400,000 people at his 4th of July like little Klan rally. In reality, it was like 2,000 people.
You just missed a very important phone call. I'm like, oh no. So I call the President of the United States and I say, sir, I hear I missed an important phone call. And he said, JD, you did miss a very important phone call, and now I'm going to have to pick somebody else. And my entire body clenches up. I'm like, is this real? And then at the same time, my 7-year-old, who's now 9, but at the time, my 7-year-old boy is talking to me about Pokemon cards. So I'm trying to talk to the President of the United States about becoming the vice presidential nominee. And meanwhile, my 7-year-old is talking to me about Charmander cards, and I have no idea what's going on. So walking through the Pfister Hotel, I've got this moment of remembrance of the moment where I almost missed the president's phone call. But here I am. It worked out. I'm the Vice President of the United States, thanks to you. So we're here to talk about fraud. We're here to talk about protecting your taxpayer money. And most importantly, we're here to talk about protecting the programs that exist, that are funded by the generosity of the people in this room and that ought go to the people they're meant for and not to make fraudsters rich. It's a very, very simple principle. Now, there are a lot of people that I have to thank and make this work possible. And first of all, I've got to thank our great CMS administrator, Dr. Oz. Where is Dr. Oz at? He might be backstage, but...
Oh, God, Dr. Oz, another loser. I remember that was another grift they had. They had like a press conference and they were telling everyone like Tylenol was bad, but in the meantime they're trying to like push their own drug, like Dr. Oz approved drug. They get all the profit.
Dr. Oz and our team at the Fraud Task Force, Kim Brady and Scott.
Man, I wouldn't trust Dr. Oz to take my temperature.
Excuse me, Kim Brandt and Scott Brady. Kim and Scott, please give a round of applause to these guys. They have protected more of your money than anybody. Now, we could not have done what we did were it not for the support of our incredible congressional allies. We're going to talk a little bit about the fact that we've saved you all billions and billions of dollars that was going to fraudsters. That's money in your pocket, which is exactly where it belongs. But we couldn't do that without a couple of great congressional representatives. And in particular, I've got to give a shout out to Representative Brian Stile. Where is Brian Stile? Please stand up, man. He has been a phenomenal champion for the state of Wisconsin. He has taken the fraud issue more seriously than anybody. So, Brian, thank you so much for what you're doing. I've also got to give a shout out to our great representative, Derek Van Orden. Derek, please stand up. Thank you for everything that you're doing. And I got to say, it would be so nice to have a governor in this incredible state, one of the most beautiful states in the union, especially this time of year. I love Wisconsin, or as you guys say, Wisconsin. Love Wisconsin, but we have got to have a governor who takes fraud as seriously as the president of the United States, who's trying to save your money as much as we are. And
what are you talking about, JD? You guys are the fraudsters. You guys got to look in the mirror.
Washington, and that.
You and all your buddies are the waste, fraud, and abuse.
Tom Tiffany is who we got to elect the next governor. And I also want to give a shout out to Representative Glenn Grothman. Where's Glenn at? Glenn, thank you for everything that you're doing. God bless you. And then Representative Tony Weed. Where is Tony at? Tony, thank you so much, man. So proud of you. And of course, he's a little far away from home, but our representative, or not yet a representative, run up for North. Look, this, stand up. Good looking guy, young guy, is going to make the next great congressman. So here's the crazy thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have two parties that disagree about tax policy or regulatory policy. We've got a party that is fighting for fraud and a party that is fighting against fraud. And I don't know about you, but how about we give more authority, more power, and more influence to the party that is trying to save your money and send the fraudsters to prison? That's all we're trying to do. Now, let me talk about a few of the things that we've been accomplishing.
Oh man, I don't think I could take these lies anymore, guys. It's about to be noon over here in Los Angeles, so I'm gonna dip out and go enjoy the day. But thanks for everyone that pulled up and shared your opinions and hung out. Hit the like button. If anyone wants to watch the rest of this, which I don't recommend, but unless you want to call them out on their bullshit. But man, JD Vance is insufferable. But yeah, it's up the White House channel. Thanks for everyone that voted. Let's check out the votes. All right, out of almost 1,400 votes, a whopping 66% of you said that Trump needs to be charged for war crimes and crimes against humanity, and it checks out because that's how the midterm tsunami is going to go. All right, so I'll catch you guys all later. Hey, peace out, madame. Hey, what up, everyone? Later, Kevin. Later, ASW. Later, Jessica. Later, Art. Hey, what up, Amber Leslie? Hey, thanks for everyone that hung out. Appreciate it. Hope you guys all have a good rest of your Wednesday out there. Take care of yourselves, exercise, eat right, stay sharp. All right. Catch you guys all later.